Yeah, buddies, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington, Gail Bennington on maternity leave. And I don't want to proud grandpop this, but we said yesterday Juliet, at 2 months old, rolled over by herself. And today she rode a bike. So I don't want to act like we have the best baby, but 2 months old riding a bike? Now, yeah, downhill. Obviously, she's not going to be able to ride. I mean, she can't reach the pedals. She just holds her little legs up, and she's like, yay! Yeah, buddies. The big story, of course, today, these Florida pictures are unbelievable. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it, to see neighborhoods missing, to see, I always just think of this. If this was like an attack on our country, you know what I mean? It would look about that bad and we would be more freaked out about it. But because it's nature, you just go, yeah, it's nature. But these are buildings that basically exploded. And normally with a hurricane, they say, oh, it's the surge. It's not the wind so much as the surge. This was wind. This is just wind, just decimating buildings. And because it was like, and I don't know why, but it seems like most hurricanes happen in the night, but this one is the daytime. There's footage all over the place. I think we've even got a shot up at the iBang. That is just something that you cannot believe you're seeing with your eyes. But there's footage from all over like that, daytime footage, that it just looks like a tornado that doesn't end. You know what I mean? Like a tornado that stays there a while. But I think you have to go back to Andrew in the 90s to see this kind of wind damage. And what do we have, 3 or 4 of these a year now that seem like they're just devastating? Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that more people live on the beaches than ever before. I mean, there's just everybody wants to live at the beach, particularly in Florida. There's plenty of room in the middle of the state that nobody's interested in. You can get it for like $1 an acre. But, you know, that beachfront property is important to a lot of people. And then these hurricanes come in and they're just unbelievable. I only watch the Weather Channel during a hurricane. There's not another time that I'll just put the Weather Channel on and leave it on. But I have to admit, when a hurricane comes up, their whole team is really, really good. I mean, they're throwing it to each other. They're not even like, I'm in the hurricane, I'm throwing it back to the studio. A guy in a hurricane will throw it to a girl in the hurricane. She throws it to another guy in the hurricane. And I'm like, from a broadcasting point of view, I don't even know how this happens. All right, that's the big story today. And then also Kanye is talking absolutely riddling to the president of the United States. I don't understand why Trump thought this was a good idea. I wanted it to be so much funnier. I wanted it to be funny nuts, and it's more sad nuts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know you like him, Earl, so.
No.
Oh, but you did it one time.
Yeah, I was a fan of late registration and college dropout.
Yeah.
I liked Yeezus. I thought because it was so batty.
But are you worried about him now? Like, not just because he's with Trump, but just the shit that he says.
This man should be in a hospital. He needs medical care. He should not be. The last place he should be in the Oval Office in front of cameras talking whatever he's talking.
You know, they made an entire movie about Nixon and Elvis, and that happened away from everybody. This is, and then you're like, why would Nixon be so crazy to sit down? And you realize it's to use that person. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He
thought he was going to use Elvis, and then he looked at it and went, oh, I can't. This is too crazy for us to do anything with. For Trump to let this happen live is stunning to me. But he does a lot of, wacky stuff himself. But never have you seen Trump just sit there and let somebody else ramble this long.
I think he was just I think in his brain, he was kind of like, "Ooh, how do I get out of this?"
No, you can't. You can't get out of it. It's like if you stop and start talking with a homeless guy. And I do it all the time. Like I'll get in a conversation with a homeless guy. And maybe for a minute it feels like we're connecting. And then I'll go off into some kind of paranoia talk. And that's where Kanye was with this. I mean, it was when you're talking that fast and your mind is zipping all over the place. I know, Vito, you're still a big fan of Kanye's, right?
Yeah, I'm still a big fan, but I'm very worried about his mental health. He did an interview with TMZ a few days ago, and just his body language, that he doesn't make eye contact.
And he doesn't seem like he's with those Kardashians.
No,
she's supposedly married to him, but he's wandering around.
Yeah, she's usually come out in his defense a lot more than she has, especially in the last few weeks. But as a big Kanye fan, I'm really nervous about the guy's.
Hey, let's just play it for a minute. Earl, you can just go in at any point.
And really, the reason why they imprisoned him is because he started doing positive for the community. He started showing that he actually had power, that he wasn't just one of a monolithic voice, that he could wrap people around. So there's theories that there's infinite amounts of universe and there's alternate universe. So it's very important for me to get Hoover out, because in an alternate universe, I am him. And I have to go and get him free.
Let's stop this for a second. So he's talking multiverses.
Yeah.
And the president is nodding like, yeah. In other universes, you are him. And who's he talking about there?
This guy, Hooper, he was a gang leader in Chicago. He's doing 6 life sentences. And since he's been in prison, he's started trying to do charity stuff. So that's who Kanye wants, Trump to get out. This dude Hoover, this gangster.
Now, how do you get somebody out when they're doing 6 life sentences?
I don't know. Because the guy.
Pardon.
Yeah, but a pardon we normally give to somebody who we thought was railroaded, or, there was a political thing against them. But 6 life sentences means he killed 6 people, right?
He was the head of a very, very violent Chicago gang. And yeah, he killed people and sold drugs. It's
going to be a tough one to get a pardon for. And again, why isn't the president listening to this in private? You know what I mean? Why is he sitting with all the... Look at this one photographer is just staring back at Trump. What the fuck?
She's like, you gonna get the net for this guy?
The funny thing is, the Republicans always hate Hollywood and music people unless those people say that they like them, and then they immediately pump them up.
Throw them on any chance they can get.
I'm sorry, but you're going to listen to him and not, let's say, John Legend? You know what I mean? Somebody who's thoughtful and is going to come in and say, oh, for the past 20 years I've been doing this. I mean, there's so many people.
Common's another one.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that you could bring in and go hey, what do we do about Chicago? Well, Kanye is obviously on the edge. All right, hit it again for a second.
Doing positive inside of Chicago, just like how I'm moving back to Chicago, and it's not just about getting on stage and being an entertainer and having a monolithic voice that's forced to be a specific party. People expect that if you're black, you have to be Democrat. I've had conversations that basically said that welfare is the reason why a lot of black people end up being Democrat. They say, first of all, it's a limit to amount of jobs.
Stop it for a second. I enjoy hearing Kanye, but I prefer looking at Trump while it's happening.
Good Lord.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
Hey, I worry because there are people in the world who get all their news only from you. So I'm glad you at least played a few clips. The Larry Hoover thing was the very end of that. But he is arguing, his first point to him was to be free thinking, which everybody should be able to do. Second, he's there to talk to Trump about not trying to put in place, again, the stop and frisk that Trump suggested, and about starting back more industry and offering more opportunities for the people in Chicago.
Look, here's what I'm saying to you, Jill. There are so many people to talk about with that. Kanye is not the leader of anything. He's a fucking rapper, which they normally make fun of the fact that rappers are talking.
I'm not I listen to everybody, but I listen to them. I listen to what they have to say, not who they are or who people tell me they are.
Well, I will say this, Jill. Kanye is on some kind of an edge.
Okay, he may well be, but it doesn't make what he's arguing for any less vital.
But,
and if he can get the ear and make things better, he's offered to put a bunch of his own money back in Chicago.
Then do it. But here's the thing. To have the ear of the president is probably making the president think he would think these ideas are crazier. This is a photo op.
Don't ever assume you know what Trump is thinking. Come on.
But you just sat around and said you listen to everybody, but you're literally not listening to me. This fucking Kanye is bizarre. And it has nothing to do with whether he's Republican or Democrat. This is a fucking guy on the edge, and nothing is scarier than a person on the edge when they have the money not to fucking bottom out. Like a rich drug addict is much harder to fucking help than a poor drug addict, and a rich crazy person is impossible to help.
They took away Britney Spears' basically rights to do anything for shaving her head. And this is much fucking crazy.
Well, Britney was very much like this. I think Britney was on the edge, and the people that came in and saved her were her family, you know? Now, admittedly, she wasn't married to a fucking Kardashian, where they're going, hey, this is really gonna fucking pump us up this season. Can we please, they're like yelling at Kim, can you get him into the fucking show? And get him bad shit. Like, have him coming in wearing like a fucking rubber duck on his dick, and he's just fucking making quacking noises. I think the funniest thing about this, other than it moved fucking Jill to thinking that something important happened, but the funniest thing about this is to see Trump quiet.
That's
he
shocking.
never is quiet. But that's how you get when you're around somebody who's bad shit.
He's just listening to a rambling maniac and just, I guess, hoping for it to end soon. Is he even looking for a place to jump in?
Here, play it a little more.
Fathers lose the jobs and they say, we'll give you more money for having more kids in your home. And then we got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up. And now you have Chirac, what people call Chirac, which is actually our murder rate is going down by 20% every year. I just talked to the superintendent, met with Michael Sachs, that's Ron.
Let's see if Trump agrees to that.
So I think it's the bravery that helps you beat this game called life. You know, they tried to scare me to not wear this hat, my own friends, but this hat, it gives me power in a way. You know, my dad and my mom separated, so I didn't have a lot of male energy in my home. And also, I'm married to a family that,
Well, he is right. He is right about that, since Trump had a very strong dad who gave him $450 million. And that's really fucking, but Trump was able to turn that into a fortune.
Seed money.
So I'm very impressed. Hey, Vinny, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Ron? How's everything?
Hey, good.
Big fan. Did you see that interview he gave on why he was a big Trump supporter? It was like, I think after the SNL skit that he did.
It was actually during it. It was when he was on there, and he said he was being bullied for wearing the hat, which at least Pete Davidson said wasn't true. But I mean, I have no problem being a Trump supporter. I am stunned how crazy he talks, though.
Yeah, well, he's out of his mind. And also, like, anything that he was talking about with the whole, like, Trump supporting Trump.
Yeah.
Like, he had, like, no information on, like, why he actually supports Trump.
There's pieces. I mean, he's actually read some stuff or whatever, but.
Yeah, he actually mentioned, like, the murder rate been going down. He referenced the superintendent. But he's just, it's like, like the hose that's going all over the place, that's sprinkling water.
Yeah, I mean, that's that kind of manic thing that he is. I don't, personally, I've never been a big fan of his, so I don't care as much. But I see that you care and Vito cares. What about you, Chris? Do you care?
I mean, I've despised Kanye for a long time. His music and him as a person.
So you are tough fundamentally challenged.
Well, now it's obvious that he was crazy the entire time. I just thought he was an asshole.
Hey, Charlie, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good.
Hey, I was just saying somebody's not doing the job at the White House because they could have watched Jimmy Kimmel or one of those late night shows he was on, and the guy was running off the rails. One minute he's talking about politics, the next minute he's saying he's Michelangelo. So they should never get that guy a live camera.
I'm like, I could see why Trump would tape this and show pieces. But I'm stunned that he ran it live, and I'm stunned that he found himself sitting there that whole time. All right, hit a little more.
Not a lot of male energy going on. It's beautiful, though. But there's times where, it's something about, I love Hillary. I love everyone, right? But the campaign, I'm with her, just didn't make me feel as a guy that didn't get to see my dad all the time, like a guy that could play catch with his son. There was something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman. That's my favorite superhero. And you made a Superman cape for me also as a guy that looks up to you, looks up to Rap Lauren, looks up to American industry guys. Non-political, no bullshit, put the beep on it, however you want to do it, 5 seconds delay, and just goes in and gets it done. Right now, you gave me the heart to go to Adidas, because at Adidas, when I went in 2015, we were a $14 billion company losing $2 billion a year. Now we have a $38 billion market cap. It's called the Yeezy effect. And I went and I said, you have to bring manufacturing onshore, not even shore, into the core. It's not about the borders, the core of Adidas. And Chicago is the core of Middle America. We have to make Middle America strong. So I had the balls, because I have enough balls to put on this hat. This Adidas thing made me a billionaire, and I could have lost $200 million walking away from that deal. But even with that,
Trump is
it's more important for me to take the chance of walking away from that deal than to have no fathers in Chicago with no homes. And when we do have prison reprobation, because it's not rehabilitation, because we didn't have the abilities in the first place. We never had anyone to talk
Stop it for a second. Here's our buddy Chuck in North Carolina. Chuck.
Hey, Ronnie, first of all, he had to have something on Trump or something for them to let him do a live camera like that and get on TV. Plus, I don't know who's more fucking stupid. Kanye for getting on there and going off talking crazy, or Trump letting him and sitting there listening to that bullshit. That's crazy.
This is the thing, Chuck. It's just a one-off episode for Trump. It's just like when you're watching The Sopranos and they do the Woodland fucking episode, and everyone's like, "What's that mean?" The Pine Barrens. It's just one episode, and he's gone. Maybe this helps him that he went. Like normally, if it was any other president, people would be freaking out that he went to a rally, and while Florida was getting hammered, but he throws so much stuff out there that this is just another one. Now, would this have killed fucking Obama? This thing right here?
No, Obama's got more sense than to do that.
Would this have killed George Bush? Yeah, that shit would have fucking destroyed those dudes. But this is just a one-off episode.
It's fair.
Yeah, Trump just don't give a fuck.
No, he don't.
He don't give a fuck.
No. He doesn't.
Hey, listen, I heard Earl talking the other day. He can't eat bananas.
Yeah.
I tried to call in, tell him to peel them, Ronnie. They won't hurt him fast.
That is a good idea.
I'll see you, man.
Yeah. All right, peace. Tony in Jersey, what's up?
What's up, Ronnie? How are you doing, man?
Good, man.
Dude, I just think that he's black and he's a rapper. And everybody hates Trump, and he's supposed to be left because he's black, and he's supposed to be anti-establishment because he's a rapper. So as soon as you throw all those three things together, he's not going to catch a break from anybody, the media, anybody left-leaning. people, you want to listen to what he says, like listen to his words. I don't know how accurate he is. I don't know if he's making a lot of sense. But the fact of the matter is, he can't get a word in edgewise. He can't catch a break.
Who are you talking about?
Look at Ben. Kanye.
Kanye gets to speak wherever he is. He's one of the most powerful people in entertainment and has been for 20 years. He just told you that him designing clothes and sneakers has made him a billionaire. His albums shoot to #1.
Yeah, the last 2 albums hit #1.
Everybody's trashing the guy right now, though. That's what I'm saying.
No one is trashing him. People, if anything, are concerned about him.
Well, that's trashing him.
No, I'm concerned.
What are
this
you
is
concerned about?
concern.
Because he's talking like somebody who has something wrong with him. It's not even the fact that you're sitting in the Oval Office talking about multiverses and running into one place to the other.
Superman.
Yeah. And quite frankly, you know, people could say that blacks don't vote Republican normally, but they are still supporting Kanye's product. You know what I mean? Kanye's product is absolutely being supported by African Americans.
When he did the pop-up store for, was it Pablo? The Pablo album?
Yeah.
He sold everything went. Yeah. Every piece of material left that store within hours. And it was supposed to be for 3 days. It went in hours.
Even look at SNL. They gave him 3 fucking songs of what they don't normally do. They let him end the show with the false ending with the song, which they've only done for Coldplay and U2, which means he's one of the biggest fucking artists ever.
Yeah,
he is in no fucking trouble.
Yeah, he's getting the forum.
Yeah.
It's just what he's saying in that forum, which is getting everyone kind of, okay, something's really wrong here. He's really off the rails.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I had never believed that he was great. I'm not a big rap fucking guy as it is. But would I ever say that he doesn't have an audience or isn't? You know, he did that crazy ass thing in Madison Square Garden where he just brought out his clothes, his Star Wars clothes. The fucking place was packed. It was packed with people going ape shit. I didn't get it at all.
Actually, my friend Ian was one of the models on the floor.
Get the fuck out of here.
Ian was one of the.
Got any pictures of that?
No, they didn't. He didn't take any. You couldn't take any pictures, but he was one of the people that signed up and had to go and was on the floor, who had to just stand there. And there were rules. You can't talk to the people next to you. You just have to sit down. You have to stand. You can't sit down for longer than certain periods of time. You had to stand up.
What was he wearing? Star Wars clothes?
Yeah, they all got clothes that they had to give back after.
You can keep the clothes.
But here's sit down because I know you're a fan of his. Here's the thing that amazed me about that. You never see those clothes on the street.
No, only the sneakers. The sneakers are the only thing that are popular at all, streetwise. I've never seen anybody wear it.
That's true of all those runway shows. They're oh, here's balloon dresses. But you're okay, I've heard of the designer, but not the balloon dresses. Now, I don't know anything about fashion. But when you're walking down Fifth Avenue, there's a thing of Alexander McQueen. Is that his name? He's the guy who died?
Yeah.
And I was walking by it today, and those fucking dresses were amazing. I don't know how the fuck someone makes a leather dress with fucking all these zippers in it. But I was walking along there, and I'm yeah, that's fucking artistic, you know?
Yeah, the runway thing, isn't it just people see the runway stuff, and then they hear the designer's name, and that puts up their actual, streetwear and everything? That builds up their brand?
I guess that is, but I don't understand why anyone goes to runway shows there.
No.
You know what I mean? Why does the press go there? Why do famous people go there? I've never been to one, but I can't believe how short they are. I've seen it on TV. They're 5 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah, they don't last long. Sometimes they'll act oh, we're doing a light show before it or whatever.
I would guess at least 45 minutes.
Could you look at fucking dresses for, you know how many dresses it would have to be in 45 minutes? There's not enough dresses in Sears.
It's not 5-minute entrances. They walk out, one person's walking out by the time they're coming back.
Anthony in Iowa.
Hey, gang, how's it going?
Oh, well, the gang's go here.
All right. Hey, this Kanye thing, isn't this just another example of a bar gimmick that he does? He gets more attention and seems to be working pretty well.
For who?
for Kanye. What they just
Oh, yeah. I totally understand Kanye going to the White House. I just don't understand Trump doing this live. I don't know why he couldn't have let Kanye ramble, take some pictures with him and Kanye in the hat on, and put it out. I think that would have been way more effective than letting fucking Kanye talk nutty while President Trump is sitting there holding on to his own fucking hands, looking around the room.
Yeah, he could have came out and just said, like, hey, we had we spoke for a few minutes. We had a very productive meeting. Photo op. Thank you.
He's also had these meetings with celebrities before. Like, if you're going to put one live, I would say why not do like the Kim Kardashian one he did live if you're going to put something on TV.
I don't know why. Maybe that was Kanye's deal. Maybe fucking, maybe Trump thinks maybe I could go from 8% of the black vote to 12%, which would be huge.
But he's losing. Kanye's losing the black community. Like, most of my fucking friends are turning on him like crazy.
I just said the exact opposite minutes ago. So you think that they're not buying this fucking album because you were telling? I told you that one song could have been great.
No, the Ye album still. Even though he had gone crazy and everything before that album, because that came out right after the TMZ Slavery Was a Choice. He actually like redid the whole album in the 2 weeks leading up to it because of the TMZ thing. That album still had crazy streaming numbers. It was like every song was top 10 on iTunes.
Right.
But the latest stuff he's done, I see people turning on him and saying that they can't take him seriously anymore because you're seeing a fucking insane person. But people said they were done with him after the slavery thing, and the album still had numbers, so people are still listening, whether they want to act like it or not.
It's all going to make a great movie sometime.
But people say they don't listen, and then he still has numbers. So
I think he has enough apologists out there they don't care. You just say they don't care what he says. They like the music.
There is, even beyond that, famous is. People are always like, oh, why do we care what famous people think? Obviously, even voiceover for a fucking car now where you don't see the person. It's got to do something inside where you're like, Ben Affleck is right. I want to get this fucking SUV. Famous fucking helps.
Well, and especially, it's the kind of people who like put themselves in a position as trendsetters too. Which is like a big thing. Like, look at the Instagram and how everything works. There's people who literally set trends, and that's a whole part of society right now.
Derek, what's up?
Yep. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Hey, for as long as Kanye's been on the scene, everything he said has been insane. Why is everyone so shocked that he's talking crazy now?
We are shocked because he's doing it in the White House with basically Trump captive, just sitting there as this runs on. This is how crazy we've gotten as a country that we're not weirded out by this.
Yeah.
But people are going, hey, that's Kanye being Kanye and Trump being Trump. This is how fucking nuts we are. How accepting.
The leader of the free world. Entertaining this lunatic.
But it's because he's a celebrity too, so it seems less like Kanye talking to the president, more just like two celebrities are having a televised meeting.
Again, the fact that you're younger and you accept this, and I'm telling you, just the fact that Nixon met with Elvis, it was the same thing about the youth vote and drugs and cleaning up, whatever. But Nixon tried to keep that as fucking quiet as possible. And then when the picture came out, people like, is this a photoshopped picture with fucking Elvis with a cape and a walking stick and crazy glasses? And he attempted to give Nixon a fucking gun. He wanted to walk into the fucking Oval Office with a fucking handgun.
Strapped.
And they're like, you can't do that, dude. And he's like, it's a very expensive weapon, and I'm sure first of all, could anybody even picture Nixon shooting a gun?
No.
But the fact that everything is just on the table now is what's nuts about us. Nothing is not crazy.
Yeah.
There's not a normal fucking day on this nutty place. In the meantime, the Panhandle's fucking devastated. But Kanye was getting live fucking shit. And somewhere in there, he dropped the F-bomb. He says fuck.
He said bullshit, too.
But
he said motherfucker.
He said bullshit.
Do you know what point that happens? Because I don't want to go through the whole thing. It's too disappointing. But could you imagine if Obama, what Fox News would be doing today if Kanye said fuck in the Oval Office with the president?
Live on TV.
Live on TV.
Remember Janet Jackson caught more crap showing an exposed nipple for
a nipple that none of us at home saw. We had to wait until the photographer came back with the close-up, and then people were lying about sitting there with their children when it happened.
It was that Heather Wilson, the representative of New Mexico. He was like, I was watching with my and I'm like, I saw it.
You know what?
I watched it. I didn't see a thing.
That fucking Sunday night color guy with a fucking stack of dimes. He used to play for Cincinnati.
Chris Collinsworth.
He said that he was there with his boys, and they were all shocked. I'm like, you're a fucking liar.
I was a little kid, and I saw that happen. I just remember seeing the sun. That's all I remember.
Dude, if you could even go back, I fucking paused it. Fez was at my house for a fucking Super Bowl party. My whole family, and we're like, do we see anything? Is that a bra? What the fuck is it?
I thought it was just a fucking thing, like a fucking pasty that everybody has on them on TV.
John, Kansas City.
Hey, Ron, you're awesome. This is like Kim Jong-un and Dennis Rodman. We all went crazy back then when those two were hanging out.
And then a couple years later, there's fucking Trump with Kim Jong-un with, our flags at the same height. Like we're two. Everybody is like, okay, that's Trump being Trump. He does things a little different,
Celebrated it.
They were on a fucking bicycle built for two. They were going down the street, giving thumbs up at people. They had a drum circle going. Chris, you think you found it? Is that what you're doing?
I'm finding it now. So I'm going through it now.
Hey, yeah. All right, we'll come back to that. We didn't have time to talk about this yesterday, but first I want to say the big Thanksgiving show is going to happen. People, before we announce on Monday how to get tickets, if you go to BenningtonShow.com, Chris is sending out an email tonight. Is that right? Or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow night.
All right, tomorrow night, or tomorrow, like after the show, and you'll have a full weekend jump on the announcement. Go to BenningtonShow.com, BenningtonShow.com. Hopefully we'll have, and this is my hopes, because we had such great guests last year, that we'll get Kanye this year, and we'll get Trump. And if we get those two together, hopefully doing a song.
Singing Ebony and Ivory.
That would be cool. I'd also like to just hear them cover Roses. Smells like poo, 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 poo.
Trump could do the Jay-Z parts on Otis.
Oh, God, it would be fantastic. I don't know how much time they have, but it's all interesting. Okay. Does the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame still matter to you, Earl? They put out the people that may get nominated, which is always weird to me.
It's like two cuts.
Yeah.
This is cut A, and then cut B gets in.
I want everybody to pick. I think they do 5 to 7. So have your top 5 ready to go. The Cure is up. Great band. I don't think anybody would have any problems there. Def Leppard, and if, you're going to allow Bon Jovi in, you might as well take a good hard look at Def Leppard. Devo. This is their first nomination for Devo after all these years. They certainly started a certain genre of music. Janet Jackson. I know Earl was in the Rhythm Nation and just fucking loving it for a long time. One of the greatest songwriters of all time, John Prine. Kraftwerk, who basically started a genre of music. LL Cool J, maybe the first big solo rapper.
Yeah, I think he's Pete Rose. He's the hit man. He had hits for 15 years.
MC5, which a lot of people will credit was starting punk. So these are all These are all people that could go in. Radiohead, I was surprised they didn't go in on a first nomination. Rage Against the Machine, also surprised they didn't go on first. I know there's not a lot of music there, but the music was certainly very important. Roxy Music, who I believe with David Bowie was the sound of the 80s. The people that grew up on Roxy Music and David Bowie was almost 100% of the English sound of the 80s. Rufus and Shaka Khan, this is their third nomination. Stevie Nicks, she's in with Fleetwood Mac. Her first solo nomination now. Todd Rundgren, first nomination. And the Zombies, part of the English Invasion, probably one of the only bands in the English Invasion that haven't gone in yet. And they were a hit, Kings. So, Earl, your top 5.
I am going to go The Cure.
Really?
Yeah. The Cure, Def Leppard, Roxy Music, Rage Against the Machine, Todd Rundgren, and Stevie Nicks.
I think you just did 6.
Yeah, I did 6.
You got to do 5.
Okay.
Take out one of your loves.
All right. So I will take out Todd. And that's a tough one.
What about for you, Chris?
Devo, the MC5, Radiohead, Roxy Music, and Todd Rundgren.
What do you got, Vito?
I have Devo, LL Cool J, Radiohead, Rage, and Roxy Music.
I think Todd Rundgren is long overdue, so he's going to be my... if Todd Rundgren goes in, I'm happy with it, no matter what else happens. After that, it gets very, very tough. I'm going to personally, and this is only a personal thing, pick Roxy Music. As much as I think Rage belongs there, there isn't much music. There's what, 1.5 albums?
3.
But 1.5 albums?
3.
You know what I'm saying? One was a cover album, right?
Yeah.
So throw that out.
So you got first Rage Against the Machine, Evil Empire, Battle of Los Angeles, which is an amazing record.
Yeah, it is.
And Renegades. That was the cover record.
Okay. I'm going to hold off on Rage. Does Radiohead belong there now?
I mean, this is tough.
It is a very tough one. I mean, MC5 has the same problem as Rage. There's not a ton of music there. John Prine may be the best songwriter or of American songwriter, but is that rock? You know what I mean? Do you compare that to people who went around selling out arenas for years? Janet Jackson was incredibly huge and tied in with that Minneapolis scene. You know what I mean?
Lewis.
Yeah, with that whole scene. And I agree on LL Cool J. He was the first major rapper, and he's still a star to this day.
I feel like if NWA's in, I don't see why LL Cool J shouldn't be in as well.
That's the problem with letting people in. That's how I feel about, because Bon Jovi went in. If you're going to do that, how do you not do Def Leppard? This is the problem when you make it too easy to get in. Like if you only pick a couple people a year, you know what I mean? You make it tougher. Stevie Nicks obviously belongs there, but she is in with another band, but they've never done that with a woman before. They've never said, there was like something like 20 guys who were in bands and went in either
with multiple bands,
and either multiple bands or as a solo artist. And does Roxy Music really belong there, other than being, a favorite of mine? They weren't big in the U.S.
Yeah, but I always go by the original Hall of Fame criteria when Ahmet Ertegun was running it, where there was the term sphere of influence. And that's how you get into multiple genres. Like that's how you get a Miles Davis in there who didn't necessarily.
I think that kind of stuff confused people. You know what I mean? And they're going, oh, you let in fucking Miles Davis, but you don't let in some fucking metal band. I don't know who I can even use right now. There's always a metal band that's pissed off, though. But once you let in those things, then how do you not put in Kraftwerk? You know what I mean? How do you not put in LL Cool J? And like The Cure, maybe they need to wait longer if that's the fucking deal. Same with Def Leppard. Patrick, Virginia. Whoop, lost you, buddy. Bill in Texas.
Hey, it's my 4th year calling in. New York Dolls, every year, I think it's a damn shame they don't get in.
They did not come up.
Not even nominated.
Not even nominated. And, what Earl just said about the sphere of excellence of, what was it?
Sphere of influence.
New York Dolls belong there for that reason alone.
And the guy who produced, I think, the 2 Dolls records, Todd Rundgren.
Yeah. Todd Rundgren should even go in as a producer as much, but he's also one of the greatest songwriters of all time. 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God. Trevor in Pittsburgh. Trevor, who would you put in?
Hey, Ron. You got to go Rage Against the Machine. I've actually heard you say 3 or 4 times over the years that they've only got an album and a half. But you guys have actually played songs from 4 of their albums to open your show before.
Oh, yes, man, they're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. There's just not a ton of music there. No matter, even if you gave them all 4 albums. And I agree. I love so many songs. I listen to so many songs by them. All the time, but I don't know. The problem is you're comparing them to other people. If I had to sit around and say, would you be pissed with anybody on this list? I would say no. Everybody on this list, is pretty fucking great.
Do you stop getting nominated after like X amount of years? Or?
No. This thing is as fucking silly as silly.
Yeah, I mean, people go in and out, like, I think like Stevie Ray Vaughan one year he was on 3 years in a row, and then one year he was.
Because I understand baseball's pretty straightforward, like with their Hall of Fame. Like,
yeah, you can't, just because it uses the term Hall of Fame, do not compare it. Baseball is the hardest Hall of Fame to get into, and that's why it's the most respected. No one really respects the Basketball Hall of Fame because you're not even sure who's in. The Football Hall of Fame, Canton. I don't know, if you were a fucking Green Bay Packer in the 60s, you're in there.
The NFL Hall of Fame is just guys who played longer than like 3 or 4 years. That's all. That's like the requirement.
And that is a big part of this too. Like, you don't necessarily want to put in a one-trick pony. On the other hand, My Sharona probably has a longer shelf life than most bands with fucking 14 albums.
Yeah, they actually started, I think, last year honoring specific songs that changed.
Yeah, but that's stupid. That's fucking...
like Rock Around the Clock.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And particularly since it was, really... Like, quite frankly, maybe rap would have died if it wasn't for Young MC that fucking 1 year. You don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Radio might have just said, hey, nobody wants to fucking hear this shit. You know what I mean? So a pop thing of a different genre can be very fucking helpful.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Louis. I think they inducted Louis.
Yeah, but we're not doing songs, Earl. We're doing the fucking artists who belong in there. Karen in Mass. Karen.
Hi, Ron.
Hey.
So I think Radiohead is an absolute must. I mean, nothing else sounds like them. They are so prolific. They have 9 albums. If you're talking about one of the reasons to put someone is the amount of music and sphere of influence, and that's really huge. I saw them in Boston.
Look, we all love Radiohead here, right? There's no one that... Yeah. But who have they influenced?
Oh, I mean... I think that there's no sound like them.
Yes, that means that you're not influencing. Now, Radiohead would have been first ballot for me. Zero fucking problem. I mean, they're a band that you could literally be proud of. There's no one said, oh, my guilty pleasure is Radiohead. No one is ashamed of being a Radiohead fan. So, yeah, I mean, they didn't go in last year, which I was actually surprised. I thought they were an easy first nomination. Easy.
Yeah, I'm very shocked that, they even thought of John Prine.
It doesn't really make. Somebody was pushing somewhere.
But which does not diminish John Prine at all. Like you said, he's one of the greatest ever.
Right.
And
I mean, he certainly must be in every Songwriters Hall of Fame, and maybe that's where he belongs. You know.
Yeah, and talk about sphere of influences. Everyone from Petty to like Dylan. He's like
anybody who writes songs. Anyone, if you write songs, you're a fucking John Prine fan. If you like songwriting, you're a John Prine fan. So, Karen is correct. Radiohead has to go in on mine. And I'm very much leaning towards Rage, too. So, mine would be Todd Rundgren, Roxy Music, Rage, Radiohead, and then I got one more to go. Dan in Memphis. Dan.
Ron, be interested in your thoughts on one band that's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and never gets nominated is the Doobie Brothers.
The Doobie Brothers never got a lot of critical acclaim either. They started as like a biker band, which is always like, if you ever notice, none of the biker bands ever get
not even a look.
A lot of respect. And also, they certainly changed as they would add members.
Yeah, they made that major shift when Tom Johnston left the band.
Yeah.
And then Michael McDonald came in and totally smoothed out the sound.
Yeah, that was a Fleetwood Mac kind of change.
Yeah.
You bring in people and then you sound. Chicago did the same thing. They would bring in people and then just sound like they were their fucking band.
Yeah, Chicago literally took the horns out for like the second half of their career.
Yeah.
And it was a horn-driven band, slightly guitar-driven. Terry Kath, one of the greatest guitar players of all time, and then he passed away. And then they went into this whole other direction where it was just basically all ballads.
Yeah. They were, in the 80s, they were just like the fucking pussiest band ever. Eric in Vegas. Eric, what's up?
Hey, man, you got to take Devo. Talk about sphere of influence and how great they are. Devo, for sure.
This is the funny thing is, this is Devo's first fucking nomination. Now, unlike almost every, I can only think of one other person that the first time that I ever saw them or heard them, I can remember it specifically. And Devo, when they did SNL, I was fucking just sitting there like, what has happened? What happened to my... And when they covered the Stones, people were fucking furious. Everyone acts like they love that now, but at the time, people wanted to kill. All right, so you got Devo on. Who else?
Oh, MC5, sphere of influence.
Yeah.
Influenced a whole genre of punk rock.
No
Sublime
doubt.
even mentions them in a song. And is Sublime going to be first-time Hall? Heck yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think MC5 influenced that many people, huh?
No. You just asked if Sublime is going to be first, and I don't think they will.
No, they have a lot of covers on those albums.
There's a lot of backlash against them. Not with me, because I didn't love them as much as other people did. I mean, I thought that they were fun. I didn't think they were like breakthrough, but the way people hate because stoners like them.
Yeah, there's like bro culture. Like people hate bros and like apparently
they think that they're bros, Sublime fans.
Yeah, that's all. That's like bros like listen to a lot of Sublime is like the sentiment.
Because isn't that beach rock like early 2000s
early 2000s?
They were already dead.
Absolutely
late 90s,
white guys
early
with
90s.
dreadlocks.
Yeah, they're more white guys with dreadlocks. I don't see them as bros at all.
No, but like today, like people associate bros listening to Sublime.
Define a bro for me, because I don't know who the fuck you're talking about.
Like a frat boy bro, or just like a bro, like a guy who just like drinks a lot. And just,
well, give me a guy. Give me he could be famous or somebody I know. Somebody you define as a bro.
Like Zac Efron's a bro.
Okay, Zac Efron ain't gonna be listening to Sublime. That's my fucking point. I don't see Wall Street guys listening to Sublime or fucking car salesmen. That's the guys I think of as bros. You make these accusations. You gotta be able to back them up, Chris.
I was just exposed.
Because like Gronk would be like a huge bro. I don't see him listening to Sublime.
I think he's listening to Smoke Two Joints.
I don't know. I don't see Gronk sitting down and listening to Santeria.
I don't know why Gronk doesn't have fucking dreads. That's what angers me. All right, Eric, who else you got?
I got Kraftwerk for sure.
Okay.
How many techno bands are there today? The biggest one around is Imagine Dragons. Doesn't have a guitar in it.
See, this is my fucking point, that if you're going to influence people, it has to be for good, not for bad. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that from Kraftwerk to Imagine Dragons that I'm fucking popping on.
You know, like, you can make the argument that Kraftwerk basically invented EDM.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Bad.
Maybe instead we should be whitewashing this fucking history.
You know, but
you wouldn't have a Depeche Mode. You wouldn't have a lot of bands if it wasn't for Kraftwerk.
I think I'd be willing to deal with that. I think I would
Same
take
here,
that
Paul.
fucking hit.
Same here.
All right. Anybody else, Eric, for you?
Yes. I disagree with you on Rage Against the Machine.
No, I picked them.
There's been tons of clone bands that wish they could be Rage Against the Machine, but nobody can pull it off.
No, I did end up picking them, but I also blame them for that rap rock thing. And
Right.
I blaming them for tapping out and letting those bands take over. That's like my thing about fucking Rage. When they were needed the most, they didn't fucking show up. You know?
Yeah, that thing was so fragile to begin with.
Yeah.
That, you know, it just basically imploded onto itself.
But, you know, and this is my other problem, because Bon Jovi, he went out of his way to run a campaign and spend money, and Tom Morello went and joined this thing. You know, Tom Morello is a voter and all that and goes to meetings, and I think it's to, you know, line up Rage. What are you opening over there, Earl?
No,
Is that a condom?
How long does it take you to open up a fucking piece
Where'd
of
you
plastic?
even get one of those? Because we haven't had them in weeks.
He saved stuff in his socks.
We ran out of the bag of Lifesavers like 3 weeks ago.
You don't think he buys his own?
Oh, Earl, come on. If you're going to buy them for everybody. That's what I did.
Did you open it, Earl?
I haven't opened it yet.
It's driving us crazy. We have headphones on. Rip it like a man.
Use
Tear
your
it the
teeth.
fuck open.
Push it through.
Tear it. Put it in your mouth.
Tear
Put
it.
it in your mouth. Suck on it now. Suck on it. Hey, here's Steve. Steve, what's up?
Hey, man, what's up? Hey, Ronnie, you mentioned Radiohead. I mean, they've been doing it for 25 plus years, and their influences are there. There would be no cheesy bands like Coldplay if it wasn't for Radiohead.
You
That's
know
what's
what?
happening.
You're right. Fucking Radiohead's out. They're out, Steve. Perfect. Derek in Pittsburgh.
Hey, Ron, how you doing, man?
Good.
Good. You talking about catalog. What about Iron Maiden?
Well, they're not on the list.
Yeah,
I know, but why not?
I don't know. I didn't make up the list. I only got the list from them. There was 15 fucking names. I think they've been on the nominations before.
I think they've only been nominated once. Metal really rarely gets love, with the exception of like the monster bands, like, which is to say,
it's not metal of today. That's
you guys
metal
are
of the
talking
80s.
at the same time. One of you got to let the other one talk. What do you got there, Derek?
I was just saying that's the middle of the 80s. That's not the middle of today. The middle of today is something completely different. Today, Iron Maiden's more of a rock genre if you really think about it and listen to it.
No, people don't. I mean, every fan that they made in the 80s. Let's be fucking honest about that. And that's true for most bands from any era. You know, you could go and you're like, oh, man, there's a lot of old white dudes here. Rock is dying. That's why it doesn't even, this museum is the only way people are going to remember it. It's dead. It's gone. Because fucking people like Vito, they eat and drink shit and diarrhea.
Yum, Vito.
I should be able to talk in front of Trump like that. Did you ever find Trump and the motherfucker?
Yeah,
All
right here.
This is
the F-bomb here.
This is Kanye. Let's take a listen.
Let's stop worrying about the future. All we really have is today. We just have today, over and over and over again, the eternal return, the hero's journey. And Trump is on his hero's journey right now. And he might not have expected to have a crazy motherfucker like Kanye West run up and support. But best believe we are gonna.
The hero's journey and that crazy motherfucker Kanye West. You're right. None of us expected your crazy motherfucker to be in there today. And you're right. We're not thinking about the future. We're all thinking about today. Fuck the future. We get it. Hey, Jeff. Jeff in Louisville. What's up?
Hey, what everyone's, all the guys are calling and they're talking about all these bands that really didn't have, they had an influence on like our culture, but think about Stevie Nicks just for a second. How many women in this world right now worship Stevie Nicks? I have to listen to Stevie Nicks. I hate Fleetwood Mac and I hate Stevie Nicks, but I listen to her on a daily basis because my wife idolizes her. My high school sweetheart idolized her.
Yeah.
My mom listens to her.
No, look. All of us have banged a girl who was dressing and wearing her hair like Stevie Nicks. We couldn't get out of that. Now, here's my problem with her is she's already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But they've done this with Eric Clapton and Paul McCartney. It's so fucking aggravating. It's so now if you don't put Stevie Nicks in, it's like, what do you hate women?
Well, it's not just that too. She's a precedent. So if you think about the political play for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, even though we don't want her to be in it, you want to put your top 5. Who do you think is the shoe-in? Because she had influence outside of her original band.
No, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. Mike in Canada,
yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, hey, I heard an interview with Joe Elliott the other night from Def Leppard, and I think Leppard should go in. And for one reason, I think Leppard should go in is he brought it to the public attention that, can you believe this? At fucking 79 years of age, Ian Hunter still is in the Rock Hall of Fame. Now, who's done more for rock and roll in Britain than Ian Hunter? And he still gigs on a regular basis, though.
But here's the thing, Mott the Hoople, and I love Mott the Hoople, they weren't big in the States. Ian Hunter actually had a little bit bigger career in the States than Mott the Hoople, but it was not massively bigger. And Def Leppard, I would leave them out on Glebe and Glob and Globe and Globe alone. No,
I think to me that it just says so much about, like, Ian Hunter symbolizes the arena rock that, like, I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is Cleveland. I think of arena rock in the 70s as Cleveland. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, but guess what? I don't think Ian Hunter played many arenas. I only saw him in small places.
I guess just as an opener, in the arenas, because I think he was always a support act when he toured the U.S.
Yeah, that's actually the problem. Kevin in New Jersey, Kevin.
Hey, Ronnie, how's it going, man?
Good, man.
I tell you what, you keep talking about Stevie Nicks is already in. They put Ric Flair in the WWE Hall of Fame with the Four Horsemen, and then by himself too.
No. We can't go over to the WWE, but yes, it is true that they've done this. But I just feel like if you're only going to let 5 in a year, that kind of shit annoys me. There should be some, like
an asterisk.
Thank you, world. That's what I was looking for, like an asterisk. And we're also putting her in for a solo. So when they put in Fleetwood Mac, they could have also said, and Stevie goes in for fucking regular stuff, and Lindsay doesn't. Lindsay, you get nothing. And you make Stevie mad, you're out of the fucking band. Yeah. Earl and I, the other day, were downstairs. He wanted to talk to me about something, and I was having a smoke, and he goes, look over your shoulder. And it's fucking Irving Azoff, who was the guy who had the Eagles, and he also had Fleetwood Mac. I think he still
does.
Still has Fleetwood Mac and still has the Eagles separately together. Truly, Jimmy Fallon's fucking part was based on him in Almost Famous. Billionaire guy. He owns one of the Levity Live thing, whatever that.
The entertainment arm of, of the Garden.
Yeah. And he was with, what's his name from the Garden?
Jim Dolan.
Yeah, so those two guys were together. Billions of dollars between them. Both dressed off the rack. I'm going to be honest here.
Come on.
Off the rack. I'm both the tiniest little guys.
I didn't think Dolan was tiny.
I don't think he was. I mean, he was next to Irving, and Irving was like 4'11", and they were pretty much in the same bracket.
I won't. Never mind.
Go ahead, say it.
No, the late great Scott, so he used to have a nickname for him. But he can't say it on the air.
Okay.
Off.
Is it the M word?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't use that word anymore, Earl.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking sizist. But that was like a weird sighting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just like caught it like super quick, and I was like, "What is it?"
I mean, those are the guys, that change entertainment. Well, Irving definitely changes the way entertainment is presented in this country.
And how the artists got paid, and
yeah,
and how I won't say it. But, yeah.
Well, he was the first guy to take on the record companies and stuff like that.
He was
like, I control these guys, not you. You know what I mean? Like, he would go in to the fucking record company and be like, you got nothing. And they would like, what? We kill people. Like, not anymore.
No, it was more like, it's like the record will be ready when it's ready, as opposed to setting deadlines.
And none of those long records were any better than if they did them fast. It was just more cocaine. Here's our buddy Ken in Rhode Island, who knows more about music than all of us. What's up, Ken?
Hey, Ron. Well, it's a pretty good list, better than usual, I'd guess, in terms of that it's tough to make choices. But if I had to vote 5 times, I'd be voting for Todd every one of them, and I can tell you why. His first 4, arguably 5 solo albums are classics.
Classics.
He produced, obviously the New York Dolls, Grand Funk Railroad, Bat Out of Hell, which I don't remember. Mm-hmm. And he also engineered a little album called Stage Fright by the band. So, how he wasn't in 25 years ago escapes me. And he really, that's the only person. I mean, there's other good people on the list, but he's the person I think has to get in.
He's literally a genius. He's literally a genius.
Yeah, that's what I think. And if I may share one more thing with you.
Yeah.
My wife had a quote with regard to the Stevie Nicks nomination. She said, if Billie Holiday could wait until the year 2000 to be inducted, Stevie Nicks can wait another 50 years.
That's really funny. All right, thanks. Peace. I think I had one more to go in. I really don't even know. I might just save it for next year and get 6 in. Do I get 6 if I save it? It would be fun, maybe, to see Devo.
And it's also a fan vote, so.
Yeah, but that fan vote, it counts for almost nothing. It's bullshit. And I don't think there's anybody this year that's got like a huge amount of an active fan base that wants them to go in. Like Kiss had that and Rush had that.
I think that was about it.
Maybe Radiohead? Radiohead's a pretty, I feel like they have a loyal fan base.
Not an active fan base. Like an active fan base is those people trying to convince you all the time that you're wrong with how you feel about the band. Hey Jay, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good.
Hey man, I got to say that as far as sphere of influence, John Prine goes back a long way and still is writing excellent albums. The Americana is rock and roll, blues, rock, songwriting, and he's got to go in on that alone. I mean, from A Hole in Daddy's Arm to right now, 2018, he just put out a new album. It's incredible.
I think he's one of the top 5 American songwriters. I really do. But brace yourself, he ain't going in. This is not going to happen.
Not first go around, I don't think.
I mean, the fact that it's first go round is a fucking insult. This is this first go round for Rundgren. And by the way, the Zombies, I don't know, come on. Fucking great band. And when nobody was doing it, you know what I mean? Look what it is, a man who knows more about Star Pants than anybody on the planet. We were in a debate over here. Chris isn't talking to you much about this Thanksgiving show, right?
Chris knows anything about the show? I didn't even know that.
Do we have a start time?
I went over that on a meeting on Monday. Yes, that's what, and the person I talked to was
tell us.
8 p.m.
Is this right? 8 p.m., Johnny? Does that give us a hard out?
First, I'm hearing that time, but that's fine. Whatever you guys want.
Who were you with?
I was talking with one Don.
You want me to take over so I can bring all the people together? You want me to be the executive producer of this? No, I don't mind.
I got an email today from a new person who you guys know, who I think is going to be running point on the event, and I feel very comfortable with this person, so I think we're in good shape.
Are we talking about Jim?
No.
I don't know who we're talking about then.
One Mr. Mark Zito.
Yeah, I mean, he's running point. That's a surprise to me.
No, I would be the one running point. He's handling some.
Obviously, you're not running point, or Zito would go through you before he went to Johnny.
He was just going through Johnny for paperwork.
You would be at least on the CC on this. You know what CC stands for?
Carbon copy?
Yes, you would get a carbon copy of this.
Good job, buddy.
Is that more water over there?
Yeah.
Why do we put out
No,
water?
it's not more water.
What happens with our crew? All right, so
here's the story. You guys give me 2 days, I'll get it done. Whatever you need, just get it together, and when you're ready, I can make it happen in like a day. Even.
We looked at this last year. We had booked everything by September.
Yeah,
and this year
we had our
I guess it's Zito since he's running point, but Wiki's not running point.
Well, and I've been talking to Wiki too. Like he sent me some artwork today, and him and Zito will get the paperwork, and Zito informed me about some production stuff today. So it's all kind of, there's some parts that are moving. So I'm not, again, as far as the venue goes, you give me a day and I'm fine.
Stop bragging, Johnny. For seriously, everyone knows how good you are. You don't have to come in and drop your cock on the table. We know it's a legendary dick. Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to do that. And
now, what has Johnny Go-Go got to do with this? Because he called us demanding to know what was going to happen that night.
He has zero to do with anything at this point. He's not he doesn't work for Hard Rock. He doesn't leave a claim to.
You guys had a falling out then?
No, he's still one of my best buddies, and I love him to death. But he will have. What his participation will be? He'll have a nice seat in the audience.
Okay. I can't keep up with all the players here. I need a guy to represent me.
That would be me.
I mean,
you didn't even know Zito was in on this. I hate to fucking say it, but you don't know whether to fucking scratch your asshole or wind that wristwatch. And I'm like, we're in a digital age, Chris.
Why don't you do both at the same time?
You could.
You could put that wristwatch in your asshole and see if that doesn't fucking keep better time.
It could work.
So is there a hard out?
No, I don't have her. No. Whenever you want to leave, you leave. Fine.
All right. That's all I need to know.
Never a hard out for you guys.
Okay. Last year there was. And the year before.
It's a new rule. I just came up with it. So, new rule. No hard out for the Bennington Thanksgiving show.
Earl was telling me that you show up for work drunk most of the time.
I didn't stay.
Earl was saying that, Johnny.
Earl,
thanks,
I haven't had a drink in I probably haven't had a drink in 4 years. What are you talking about?
You don't like that weed anymore, though? You used to smoke the weed, right?
Very rarely now. I'm too old for that shit, man.
Edibles? You like the edibles?
No, you can't do edibles. You don't know what you're doing. You eat too much. You go crazy. You don't eat enough. And you don't eat enough. It's too much.
What do you think is worse, too much or too little? No matter what the situation is. Would you rather have too much food or too little food? Too much alcohol, too little alcohol? Too much sex, too little sex? I'm
going to go too much.
You want too much?
I want too much, yeah.
Look at me. I'm a too much guy.
Too little.
Yeah, until it gets the food. There's nothing worse than being hungry. I don't care what the fuck is. I think I'd rather be shot in the leg than be fucking hungry. I'm always amazed when you go to bed hungry that you don't wake up starving.
I do.
You do
If
every time?
If I go to bed hungry, I wake up nauseous.
I feel like you could wake up and it's a whole fresh start. Like, oh, I'm not as hungry as I thought. I'm not as, I could always eat, but you would think that you'd be famished.
Like a reset button?
I guess. I don't know how that works, though. Like, if you're running out of gas, you don't wake up the next day and your car starts off and you're like, oh, I got a quarter tank. So discuss. All right, so I got to go through Zito for everything now.
No, you don't. You have to go through me.
Chris.
Yes.
You're in the fucking fog. I'm very serious about this. Apparently you're going to be a performer, but you're not a producer. You would know what's going on.
I know what's going on. It's paperwork for the venue. That's what's happening.
Do you know how many people are involved in this now that weren't before?
There's a lot.
I mean, the fact that Zito's involved, it used to be your job, right?
But it still is my job. He just handles something on the back end.
What? We never had Zito doing paperwork in the past years, correct?
No, someone else did paperwork.
Who was that?
Don.
I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this, Johnny.
I'm only talking to Zito moving forward. And Don, of course.
I want to be CC'd on everything right now.
I got you.
But I want to be BCC'd, so nobody knows that I'm being CC'd. I'll catch them all in their fucking lies. Are we getting the storm, this little rain that we're having today? Is that the tail end of the storm?
Yeah. It's going to apparently get a little heavier in the evening. They said monsoon-like conditions.
When, tonight?
Tonight, yeah. That's what I heard.
In New York?
Yeah, in New York, yeah.
Why would it turn to a... Why? What do you got planned?
No,
You're living in a giant apartment building. You don't have to yell fuck like you're in danger.
I know. I don't like going out in the rain.
Then don't go out. Take a fucking night in.
No.
The Eagles are playing the Giants. You should be fucking interested. It's your two favorite teams.
What?
So two teams that can beat the shit out of the Jets. Enjoy them. Boy, I don't think Johnny hates anything more than he hates the Jets. He despises the Jets and he despises Jets fans.
Why do you hate the Jets so much, Johnny?
Well, I don't hate the Jets because I feel bad for them. I hate Jets fans because if you recall, I think after week 1, you guys were hanging up the Super Bowl banner already for,
Every fan base has a team after one game, people go nuts.
That's not true.
No
that
way.
is not fucking true.
I think everybody goes nuts when their team has a win because
You guys think every quarterback is Joe Namath and you fucking put up a thing in the Post every year. It looks like we got our Broadway Joe.
The Sanchez?
Could we just discuss the fact that Joe Namath is probably the most overrated quarterback in the history of quarterbacks? He won one big game. Big fucking deal.
And most of that he was handing off. His fucking knees were fucking fused. But he did have fun. I mean, he was a great partier.
Yeah.
He goes in the Hall of Fame for me. I'm putting him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I remember seeing the thing where he had pinball machines at home. I'm like, this motherfucker's got everything. He's got everything a man could want.
See, I hate, and Met fans too, the same thing. Met fans, remember when you guys hung the banner in April because you were going to win the World Series? How'd that work out?
They're fucking idiots.
I never hung a fucking banner. I said it in the beginning of the season.
And you're
this
a Nets
isn't going to
fan.
last long.
Then you're a Nets fan.
But Johnny likes to fucking claim that I'm this asshole who goes around claiming my teams are the best thing in the world.
I think he nailed you. I think this is a roast. I think that's why you're hurt.
I
He
never called
fucking
you an asshole.
peeled the mask back, and what's under your face? An asshole.
He's a big asshole.
All right, Johnny. CC me, would you?
No, I will ECC you.
Okay, yeah. And everybody that's ever sent an email, I could be BCC'd. You don't even know it. All right, talk to you later.
Later.
Dean, what's up?
Hey, Ronnie B. First time, long time. First of all, Rock's Music at Avalon is one of my favorite pieces of art, never mind music. My question was about Devo. Do you think people would have a soft spot because they're from right there where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is?
Well, that would be true, except for this is their first nomination after all these years. And also, there is nothing huggable about Devo. This is the first truly autistic band that we've ever had. So There are people that you want to have that connection, that visceral connection, but Devo's not one of them.
Yeah, I was thinking I could, put him right beside the Pretenders. It's just.
The Pretenders are huggable. Pretenders are, that's a band that people could go, oh, this is like a great moment for us. Devo doesn't, they just don't play to that part of it. It's ice cold. You know what I mean? My baby, do. All right. We got a break here, right?
Yes.
But first, I want to talk to you something. It's about Ring, of course. Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but it doesn't end there. So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like Ring's amazing doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video and two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps onto your property. See and speak to visitors, even set off an alarm right from your phone with Ring's Floodlight Cam. When things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know what it is. Whether you're home or away, the Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere. Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security into your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off of a security kit when you go to ring.com/comedy, ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy. It's the Bennington Show, and Todd is God. He's a wizard, true star. Earl, you were just, you were in your own world. Love that song.
He's just a bad dude.
Yeah.
Bad dude.
Is that, you mean that in a good way? I don't understand slang the way some people do.
No, that's a very good thing.
Talking about bad dudes, I'm heading back home to Poughkeepsie, and it's going to be so weird. Poughkeepsie High, seeing that. Seeing Sam Drucker's store where we all used to go to, get a sody pop and some Twizzlers. By the way, why did the intern bring us in pretzels but no carbonated beverages? What was the call for pretzels?
Earl asked for some pretzels, and I thought that you would like to have some as well.
But to have with water? That's odd.
That was my fuck up.
I only want you concentrating on 2 gigs. I just told the boys that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's going to happen, though. All right, laughitup.net, laughitup.net for tickets. Ronnie B is coming home to Poughkeepsie at the Laugh It Up Comedy Club in Poughkeepsie, part of my Who Booked This tour. All right, the one of a nail, Upper Darby Zone. My little granddaughter's got Upper Darby in her blood.
Nice.
Good place. Home of the what theater, Earl? I'll just tell you, David Live was done there by Bowie.
Tower Theater?
Oh, Earl, that's why you're here. You can't be stumped. I've never once stumped Earl in my life. Earl, you and I are going out to the Reagan Library to take a look at this Ronald Reagan hologram. The fact that holograms are being embraced as real things is just frightening to me.
I don't like this at all. We have to put a stop to the hologram stuff because
they can't. It's the horse has left the barn, and the presidential hologram there's going to be 3 different ones, and they say at the end they fight. They're just fighting holograms.
It's not natural, Ron.
For best hologram, hologram supremacy.
Tupac was the original, right?
I believe so.
And then that was shot.
Yeah.
By a Suge Knight hologram, and then that is now in hologram jail.
I think there was a Michael Jackson one in Vegas too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. There is. There's a Michael Jackson hologram out there.
Mike.
It's creepy.
And then Jim Gaffigan hologram in the National Comedy Center.
I am a hologram. I am a hologram. That's how he comes out. And I was fucking roaring laughing because it's not a robot. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he thinks a hologram acts like this. I don't understand why you put the bottom of the can on the ice. I mean, I know it's easier to carry that way,
I told you about this, Vinay.
You did, really?
Yeah, I did. No, yeah, because it's a bottom of a can on the ice that you're putting in your mouth.
First of all, there's never enough ice. There's a small amount of ice. And then, Vinay, come have a seat over here. I know you had a very big show. Vinay was telling me that he doesn't really want to be a promoter. He wants to be a big-time comic. How long... What would make you feel like I've made it as a comic, Vinay? That's my first question. I'm always curious about young comics of, do they know where that North Star is?
Well, I think the next step for me is opening up for like an older established comic, like kind of like you or like someone else, like someone just like I would.
That makes me feel ancient. Now, here's the thing, though, Vinay. What makes you feel like, I know that's one of the steps for you, right? But what is the goal? What is the dream? You lay down at night, you just masturbate it, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to have a nice, lovely thought before I fall off to sleep.
Sleepy.
Where is Vinay in that dream?
Like end goal or like next steps?
No next steps. What is the goal?
I want to write and be in my own films or a TV show. If
Give me the person whose career you would love to have. You look at that person, yeah.
Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham, maybe like
you and him are the same age.
No, he's three. No.
So
he's 5-6 years older than me.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
All right, so eighth grade just came on demand.
Yeah,
and I was going, do I want to watch this? And I thought to myself, no. I don't want to watch an eighth grade girl not enjoying her life. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Maybe if I was in eighth grade, you know what I mean? I might watch it. And I think it's like interesting that this kid was able to do this and to go on from YouTube. Now, did you hear what he said about comedy clubs the other day?
Yeah, that they were like a boys club.
He said it was toxic masculinity, I believe, and they should all be burnt down.
That's Bo Burnham. He's just very like hyperbolic. But
he doesn't say that around other people. He says
he's
it on
like
his
a media,
own.
yeah.
It's like he was supposed to come here and didn't. Because I would have loved to, you know what I mean? I would have loved to see him come in and say to, let's say Big J. Okerson, this is a toxic masculinity thing that you've lived your whole life in.
Right.
And it should be burned down. Because I don't think he would say it.
He wouldn't. There's also a comic that I really admire named Jabuki, Young White.
Pass Jabuki from the left-hand side. So what's he got going for him?
Well, just today he got hired as a correspondent for The Daily Show. He's a queer comic from Chicago, I believe.
Hey, watch it with that. Let's just say he's a comic from Chicago. Let's just say he's a comic from the Midwest. Let's not put him in a closet.
Well, it's because he's not like boxed into this like the club mindset.
I'm not comfortable with you using the Q word. I think if he's got a right to use the Q word. Now, Earl, you told me feel free to use the N word anytime I want it, right?
No.
Thank God I checked on that. I was just about to say something. So that's a no?
Emphatic no.
Okay.
Can I say it?
I was jealous for a while.
Why? He's a person of color. Is he? Do you consider Vinay a person of color?
Black people don't like Indian people.
No, they don't.
They don't like Indian people.
You know why?
Specifically Indian people.
They think you're too slow to make change.
Oh, I definitely see that. I understand that. Also, so many Indian people say the N-word.
Yeah, I know they do.
A lot, and I don't know why.
Anybody, Asian, Japanese, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, they all act like, hey, I'm in with blacks.
Yeah.
I'm in with blacks. But you don't see it that way.
Like Dominicans, I hear it all the time.
I hear it all the time in the subway, and I'm always looking around like, is this going to start fucking shit? And then I think to myself, I'm getting off this stop.
But like Latinos and like Japanese people and like Italians, they all have slurs for them. Indian people don't have a slur. You know, like, there's nothing that you could call us that would be mean. Like people say curry jockey or elephant like herder. Like, okay, that's not that mean. So I feel like a lot of Indians...
I mean, it's up to the person whether it's up to each group to whether they decide it hurts or not.
Yeah.
And you're saying it doesn't hurt you. But
not me. I'm just saying Indians in general, which is why they've appropriated.
Well, I would have agreed, but when Hari came in and was explaining to us why he made the documentary and how, as a kid, hearing his dad being called a poo, that for the first time made me think like, oh, they are sensitive.
Oh no, we very much so are. It just, I don't know what it is like culturally that like Indian people like for so long, for so many years, we absolutely didn't. We didn't consider being vocal about some like the stereotypes about of Apu or something like that.
I know. I know.
I don't know why.
Just
And then
recently,
it was just this generation of like.
I know
artists,
what could always piss off. I could use a word that pisses off Indian people. Is it okay that I use it?
Of course.
Pakistani. They get very mad if you say you're Pakistani.
You can't say that word.
By the way, why do you guys not get along so well?
There was a religious falling out. You know,
Yeah, I don't like religion.
Indians in India was big. It like extended all the way to like what is considered old school Persia, and it went all the way to Iran, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and then I think in like the 40s, like after what like that's what Gandhi's whole shtick was, you know, that like they wanted there was like almost like a homogenous religious viewpoint going on in the government.
Yeah.
And it was very pro-Hindu and anti-Muslim, and then the Muslims were like, fuck this, we're out of here. And the Indian government and a lot of like OG Indian people felt betrayed by that. So now we don't like those packy bastards.
See, that the P word that you just used, very big insult in England, not so much used here, but in England that gets people really, really furious.
They get riled up.
Now, I could fix every religious problem we have very, very quickly. And I think everybody would agree to it and get along great. And that's everyone becomes Catholic. Once you believe in the true religion, you know what I mean? Jesus' religion, God's religion. How many guys?
Pagan shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I do like the pagans a lot. I feel like they have better holidays, and they have a couple of things that they used to do. Was real like blow off some steam. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, everyone do the work. In 2 months, we're going to all be drunk in one big orgy. You know what I mean? I do feel like, hey, if everyone has that to look forward to, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, Chris, calm down, or you're not going to be in the drunken orgy.
Oh, okay.
And it's I know it's your favorite 3 days of the year, but I think, I don't know if you guys
They do have that in Catholicism.
Yeah. I do think that if you've been in a 2-3 day drunken orgy, about the third day, you're ready to end it. You know what I mean? You're just like, you know what? I'm ready to go back and get some regular sleep now.
Hungover.
Yeah. It's like that trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
By the third day, you start to feel the Vegas grease. You know what I mean? It's hanging all over you. You're like, what am I still? The first night you get there, you can't fucking sleep.
I bet.
You think you're going to be a millionaire.
That much of a rush?
You know, I mean, it's got everything, Earl. Everything that you don't do on a regular basis. Earl does not party. He doesn't. You think that premarital sex is going to send you to hell, right?
I don't. I think
you pull the condom off, right? You come in and you roll the fucking dice. That's what I admire about you, Earl. You have a lot of outside children.
I don't have any outside.
And they're actually living outside. Do you wish you would have had kids, though, Earl? You're so good with babies.
Oh, yeah, I would love to have some children.
I would let you babysit Gail's baby, Juliet, but I saw what happened to that black guy down fucking south when he was babysitting those kids. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. When
the woman called the cops on him and basically was saying, I feel like this black dude is kidnapping and molesting these children.
She was following the guy around. Like she saw this dude.
She saw herself as a hero.
Yeah. This black dude, like, who had these, 2 white kids. And then she started following him around thinking that he kidnapped them. And
I don't want to interrupt you. I've never seen this kind of devastation before. Look how many buildings are just destroyed.
Wow.
You think this is worse than Katrina?
No, because it hit a place that has less people. But there's still people.
Yeah.
I think if here's what fucking sometimes infuriates me. If this thing was heading to Miami or Tampa, Trump wouldn't have went to that rally or had Kanye in today. You know what I mean? But because it's at the Redneck Riviera, who gives a fuck? But those beaches there are beautiful. Just stunningly great. And there's so many fucking beach bar dives along there that are just so much fun. Earl, you wouldn't like it, but Chris, you would have the time of your life.
It sounds awesome. I like a dive, and a dive on the beach sounds even fucking better.
I mean, the fact that when you're drinking outside, you do kind of feel like you're getting exercise.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, this is very healthy.
It's totally...
I'm getting some sun.
It's a totally different experience. It's much more positive.
That vitamin D.
Nice sunsets.
Yeah, the sunset celebration is always fucking great. But this is, I've never seen wind cause this kind of devastation, I don't think.
I mean, just the whole swath is like leveled. It's
What is that knocked over? A train?
Train blown off of tracks.
Holy shit. Now, you know how much a fucking train weighs. I can barely pick one up. And this was blown over by wind. I got to tell you, I haven't seen Vinay do a comedy. I have the feeling that he's going to be unbelievable at it. How long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing it for 4 years now.
Yeah.
It's running my 5th, actually.
I will tell you this. I think you started too early.
You think?
I always think people need to live some life.
I kind of feel that, too.
Yeah.
I kind of been like, I need more life experience, more heartbreak, more depression.
Yes. More failure, more jobs that you hate. You've only had jobs that you like.
Kinda, yeah, this is true.
What you want to have, like, as you get older, people be like, what have you done? You're like, oh, I was in the Marines for a while, and then I was selling dope, I was running fucking dope, I was a prison guard. Everyone's like, you're fucking fascinating, man. You're fascinating. Yeah, you got stories. That's why everybody loves the fucking truck driver. Yeah. They've fucking been everywhere. They've been in all kinds of weird bar fights and met crazy fucking chicks. That's what people like about people. They don't like, well, I've been on a career track. I went from regional manager to corporate manager, and I hope to one day to be corporate regional manager. That's Earl's life.
Does that apply for bartenders too?
Everybody likes a bartender.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a bartender, but not in a great bar. You know, no one likes a hotel bartender. That guy's a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? You want a guy who's worked dive bars.
Or like the chain restaurant bartender also is not
good point. Nobody's like, oh man, you're a bartender at Ruby Tuesdays?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Because I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. I don't even consider them bartenders.
Why not?
They don't have enough leeway.
It's not a bar, it's like a corporate entity, and then you're just there to just like just turn out fucking like shitty drinks.
Why though? Why can't they have great fucking drinks? It's so stupid.
They can't. It's impossible.
You come up with something. This attack you're doing on fucking chain bartenders.
You TGI Friday bartenders.
And the funny thing is that was the original thing. The first TGI Fridays was like the Tom Cruise movie. And they're like, oh, we can franchise this.
So it was like that, you know, bartenders tossing bottles up in the air and all.
Show tenders, they were called.
Show tenders?
Yeah.
That was their official name.
No, I don't know if it was official. But when you were a guy like, hey, you wanted to say, watch this fucking dude. This guy's throwing bottles around. He's fucking pouring drinks into girls' mouths. You know what I mean? He's just fucking pouring tequila. Everybody was like, yeah, it was a dude bro thing, obviously. And then by the time it got to the suburbs, it was just, you know, well, first of all, people in the suburbs were like, oh my God, potato skins. Delicious.
They are.
I'm going to tell everybody at the PTA meeting about these. I like a bar where it's okay to snort rails.
You can't do that at TGI
on the bar.
No, you can't.
No.
You drink today?
I've been drinking a lot more recently, yes.
You do drugs?
Yes.
What drugs?
Well, I guess weed doesn't really count, but
not to me.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
You want to do some heavy drugs?
I used to.
Go ahead.
I tripped acid a few times.
Why you call it tripped acid? Look, what kind of acid was it?
It was gel tabs.
Okay. I don't want to say it's pussy, but
am I not allowed to say this? Am I gonna fire some shit?
I don't know. You can't work here unless you've done these things. This is fucking radio. What do you think this is? The Marine Corps?
I don't know.
We did a test. We're gonna have to let you go. I've been down. Ken in Nebraska, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ron.
I was a limo driver. You were talking about interesting jobs, didn't you? All kinds of stories. And I've seen it all. It's
Who's the biggest star you've Who's the biggest star you've driven?
Let's see. What's his name? The guy that sung with Lady Gaga. Italian guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Russell Crowe?
No.
Russell Means? The Indian chief?
No. Can't think of the guy's name.
Sounds like you've had a boring job.
What?
When you can't say the biggest star you've ever had in your car, it sounds like you were driving in Nebraska. Who was it? Tom Osborne was the biggest star you ever drove around? Bro, I thought you would love that joke. The old Nebraska coach. Who are you texting with?
Chris.
What are you guys saying to each other?
He's just sending me a plug for our coming guests.
It's 10 minutes from now. Why are you fucking destroying this? This banter. I told you already. I want you worried about two things and two things only. You're wearing a chain, huh? Gold chain?
Silver.
Oh, man, my eyes. My eyes are bad.
I thought it was white gold.
Thank you. Where's your family? Back in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they're in Pittsburgh.
You ever bring a white girl back?
Yeah, I brought my girl back.
And how'd that go?
It went good, surprisingly. My parents are like progressive, I guess. They don't really care.
They don't care about you. They care about a lot of things. So your girl's a white girl?
Yeah.
Let me see a picture of her.
My phone's in there. I already showed you a photo of her.
Oh,
you said she's beautiful. Yeah, you liked it.
Yeah, but I meant naked picture. Let me see the stuff that you wouldn't want your parents to see. Never mind, Tom. That's okay. I don't know. I feel like when you come in here and you do a couple minutes, I feel like Original Chris gets pissed.
Original Chris has Twitter fans. He does not need...
He does have Twitter fans.
He does not need more airtime.
He may be the first intern in history to get laid.
Yeah, right?
Has nothing to do with us, or it has everything to do with Chris.
There's longtime fans talking about how dripping wet Original Chris gets them on Twitter.
I'm sure you give some guys hard-ons.
Not even.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I think Vinay's a pretty cute kid.
I think I'm a cutie.
Yeah. You wear a lot of rings. You got a thumb ring.
Tattoos.
I think I'm going to get an ear piercing this week, but I'm going to get made fun of by everyone.
Why?
I just need something new. I just need something. I need a change. And I just want to feel like a pirate for a little bit.
Yeah, shave your head.
I don't know.
Shave your eyebrows. Or one.
I got a weird head shape.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I do have a
like
weird...
a bullet head.
Like a chupacabra skull.
Yeah. Why don't you get you do some scarification?
What's that?
You just like run like
Knives are brand new.
Where are they from? Acne? That doesn't fucking scare anybody.
This is I was drunk and I slipped on ice.
Were you fucking drunk hockey?
Nah, it was just a winter, and then this one was a fight.
Who'd you fight? Pakistani kid?
Just some shitbag. He was pissing me off.
You started a fight and he fucking smashed you and cut you open?
No, we were fighting and then I backed into glass.
Sounds like you were doing great in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, the ice skating rink is open. I walked by it today.
I didn't think it would open this early.
It's 80 degrees.
I know, it's hot. It looks like there was a thin thing of water on it. But I think you can get skates now for like $1.25 and go down there for 2 hours. You should bring your white girlfriend.
She loves skating. She's really good at like rollerblading and ice
Where'd
skating.
you meet her at?
School. Actually, I hit her up on Facebook when we both got invited, when we both got accepted to NYU.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually hit up like a few girls. I was like, hey, yeah, I got accepted. Yeah, what are your favorite movies? And I prolonged the conversation. And then she liked the movies I liked. So I was like, all right, I'll keep this one.
What's that?
I like Jurassic Park, her.
Well, let's hold on. The entire world likes Jurassic Park.
Oh, but I love Jurassic Park.
The entire world loves Jurassic Park.
What's one of the top grossing movies of all time?
You just don't run into people who don't go, you know what? I fucking hated that first Jurassic Park. When the when the fucking dinosaurs ran out, couldn't stand it. You like Jurassic Park. What else?
There's a director named Spike Jonze. I like most.
Yes, we all know Spike Jonze.
Come on,
I would thought
I don't know how topical you guys are. I'm kidding.
First of all, topical. He's made movies 20 years ago.
Do you know Charlie Kaufman?
Come on, dude. Yes,
I met Charlie Kaufman, and that was the coolest experience of my life.
Where'd you meet him at?
The Anomalisa premiere.
Oh yeah.
Jonah Hill was moderating that.
What were you doing there?
My girl is a filmmaker. She's a film producer, so she has like a lot of jobs in those sort of like, she works at the PGA right now.
Yeah.
Well, she actually
Was
works
she a
at
golfer?
Bleecker Street, but she was at PGA before, but she just gets invited to these and I tag along.
Is it PGA?
You're
or
a plus
DGA?
one.
PGA, Producers Guild.
Oh, okay.
I've been down. All right, what's a movie you think you should say?
Well, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Why?
Come on, Earl. Any movie.
The movie.
Just pick a movie, Earl.
What, like The Godfather? I don't know.
The Godfather?
Come on.
Precious?
That's fucking racist, dude.
What?
Why would he just like Precious?
Oh, it wasn't because it's black, because it's a heartwarming story.
Heartwarming? It's fucking horrifying.
Yes.
I haven't seen Precious.
No.
I mean, disturbing film.
You just heard the name Precious and thought you'd be okay? Hey, have you guys heard of Steven Spielberg?
All right. Spike Jonze and Steven Spielberg are different tiers.
Spike Jonze is an incredibly huge fucking filmmaker.
I guess so.
And what was the TV show that he...
Jackass.
There you go.
I never really got into Jackass.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't either. And I went down to do this thing with Big J, and I didn't realize how much Big J loved Jackass. Like, loved those guys. And I thought, oh, here's a fuck around show. We were with Bam Margera. And I thought we'd just be having fun. And I was, And Jay was like, Bam, Jackass meant so much. And I was like, what? I didn't know anyone felt that way. But I guess if you were a certain age, I think it would be like, girl, if you met Tootie. Was she your favorite in that show?
Couldn't get past the roller skating thing.
Didn't get past her, couldn't get over it. What's this thing that's up there? Oh, is this the white guy?
Yeah, there's the white guy.
I didn't even really watch this. I just saw the story, the secondary story. But is this where the woman's hassling him? Do we get to see that?
I don't think in this video.
All right, then I don't want to say it. I just like to see a white woman act really racist. That always makes me laugh. Because I always think that could be somebody I know or that I'm related to.
Like, she got out of the car multiple times to harass this dude.
I don't blame her. She's a hero.
No, she's not. That guy wasn't doing anything wrong.
A fucking rapist has 2 little white children.
He's not a rapist.
Yeah, thanks to her.
Oh, shit. She did nothing good.
He was babysitting.
We don't know what would have happened without that white hero.
Yes, he would have brought the children back to their parents, unraped.
We'll never know that, will we?
You see that white woman that called the cops on that like 8-year-old girl selling lemonade?
Yeah.
That's the true hero there.
It was ruining the neighborhood.
Not at all.
You ever been hassled by a white woman or anything, or like when you're in a neighborhood you didn't belong in?
Maybe I think when we were kids, we went to play in Regal Park, which was at the time I think still is a.
You had a nylon on your head, and they were worried.
We went to play in the schoolyard because they had a PS139 had a beautiful stickball field, and they were just like, "What are you doing there?" Like, because it was on a Saturday, it was an off day, and we were just like playing baseball. Like we were just kind of, the park is closed, and we were like, "No, it's not. The doors, like the gates are open. Anybody can walk in."
This is fucking heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
to
really
know that
sad.
early had to deal with that you were a little kid.
Like 8 years old.
I can't believe racism's real.
Yeah, it is real. I just found that out now, for first time ever. Before that, I thought it was just being protective. Like, Earl, you're the first assailant that I was ever really friends with.
I'm not an assailant.
Yet. Thanks to those fucking people.
It's plenty of time, bro.
They kicked you out of the baseball court.
And I know fucking Original Chris went over and took someone's didgeridoo off of him, you know? What do they call those black dudes in the middle of Australia?
Indigenous?
Is that what they're just called?
Aborigines.
Yeah, Aborigines. Yeah. The fucking a friend of mine went to Australia, and he said an Aborigine came in, and the bartender was like, "Get the fuck out of here."
That's fucked.
Yeah, I know, but it's not our country. What do we care? I mean, it's barely fucking keeping itself together. Australians don't even stay there; they're constantly traveling.
Yeah, and I heard their interns suck.
No, their interns are great, really sexy.
Yeah, they're amazing, good-looking, fun.
No.
Masculine.
Active.
Not
know a lot
fucking
about.
effeminately dressing every day. You're like having like a fucking teenage girl the way he's always got. I've never seen him wear the same clothes twice, and it's always something bizarre.
He had a weird green jumpsuit on yesterday.
I know, man.
And an orange belt.
But it always looks good on him.
I
'cause
got
he's thin.
roasted for that at the show.
Did you?
Yesterday. I got roasted for that.
But you don't mind, right?
I don't care.
Yeah, you love it. All right, we got a break here. Who's coming in?
Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney. They're coming up. Mike Cannon.
Do you know these guys?
No.
2 young fucking comics on their way. They should be buddies with you.
I'm about to book them on my bar show.
Okay.
No, you're not, Vinay. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Vegas, October 24th through the 28th. And Mike Feeney, he's headlining at Caroline's, October 17th at 7:30 p.m.
All right, let's bring him in. Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney are in studio. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, October 24th through the 28th. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. Mike Feeney's headlining at Caroline's, October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Carolines.com for tickets. And their podcast, The Irish Goodbye Podcast, is available now on Gas Digital Network and iTunes.
Good to see you, fellas.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me.
The Mike and Mike show is here. Good to see. Now, the Irish Goodbye thing, what would you say the elevator pitch is on that podcast? If somebody said, "Oh, why should I listen to you guys?" What would you say?
2 functioning alcoholics in their 30s that tell pretty much everything about it.
Yeah.
Reveal way too much.
Yeah. The functioning alcoholic is always... All right, now they just fucking close that book. Chris, what goes on there? You're opening, you're closing it?
I need, there's two curtains. There's one to my left that you can't see that I need to open. But for whatever reason, Vinay thought I said the one directly behind me. And I was like, I didn't see it
That
open.
freaks you out if it's open?
I don't like it open.
It looked like a part of a hospital you're not supposed to see.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But the distracting nature, like here it is. There's no way for like if an audience could see this, we're like, oh my God, look what's happening. But just the fucking fact that I'm seeing it open and close, and no one would know what is irritating me about it. Now guess what, Chris?
Yes.
The whole thing gets open and it stays open, and
Yeah.
I want you to pull up the back of your shirt so anyone who goes by will see your bare back.
Just check some crack out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand, though. I have to sit that way at, like, restaurants. I have to always face the door because I don't trust.
You know why? You're a gunslinger.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, that's a gunslinger would never sit with his back to the door. He always wants to see the door.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a past where you're worried if somebody's looking for you?
I truly don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense. I think it's
You're just fragile.
Yeah. I can't. I don't want to have my neck or someone coming up behind me. You know what I mean?
Has that ever happened, though, before?
Not yet, because I face the door. That's why.
I think you're safe in America. I think that this is a place that... Now, Earl, you on the other hand, you should be next to a fire exit.
Ron, you don't think the white man is under attack?
I have been hearing that, but today after Kanye, I don't know whether you watched.
Oh my God!
I mean,
it was
he's making some good points.
I so wanted it to be funny nuts, not sad nuts. You know what I mean?
It was sad.
And like, people are like, "Well, you don't like him because he's Republican." I know. I don't like the fact that it seems like he's having a breakdown.
It makes me feel uncomfortable to watch
Yeah.
a mentally ill person spill their guts.
Right.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I did like him saying motherfucker in front of the president.
And balls. He was like, I got balls to do this.
Did Trump say a word? Anything I heard, Trump was just sitting there.
Yeah, he was speechless.
Yeah, and because we're in New York, we've all had that train ride where the guy was sitting across with us, just fucking yelling shit out.
I had that happen on the street the other day. I was leaving a Dwayne Reed, and a guy walked next to me and he's like, "You suck pussy? Do you suck pussy? I suck pussy. You gotta suck pussy." And it was just in my face until some other sap walked in between us.
Right.
And he just kind of glommed onto him like a pilot
But
fish.
you didn't say, of course I suck pussy. It's fucking
No, I
fantastic.
kind of intimated that I did with my eyes.
Yeah, you started licking your lips.
Yeah. Earl, you will not go down on a woman, is that correct?
I'll do whatever.
When I was younger, no black guy would go down on a fucking. That was the main.
My basketball teammate told me the reason I had a beard is because I ate pussy. He's like, see, I don't have my shit doesn't connect. He's like, that's because I don't eat pussy. Or you got a thick beard. And I was like, I don't think
that's not
works.
science. That's not
Miracle Grow for your face.
But you know what got black guys into it? I believe was at-home porn. At-home porn made them think, okay, this is something to be done. Now, Derek Gaines told me that the reason why black guys don't is because of the ghetto diet. And he said there was way too many Mountain Dews and Doritos that you wouldn't want to go down there.
The pH balance is all off.
Yes, the pH balance is off.
It's like a fish market.
Yes.
Oh.
So I get most of my information from Derek Gaines. That's where I go. With it. Yeah.
I'm going to blindly agree.
Yeah. By the way, guys, I have a young, I think the new term is South Asian comedian here. But he
looks like Aziz went through the Stefan Urkel machine.
Here's the thing. When you hear him talk, he literally has Aziz's voice.
Oh.
Hey, guys. Now, you're not in their world yet, right?
I mean, not yet, no.
What is the world that you're in, comedy-wise?
Bar shows.
Okay.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it cool or is it just so difficult?
It's
and
a
hard?
necessary evil.
Yeah,
I guess,
it takes so many years.
It's brutal. Those bar shows, I mean, I still do them just because it's like, it's great to get beat up all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just going in against somebody that's.
But the open mic stuff now, which is just comics watching other young comics, that is nightmarish to me.
That was the worst part.
Yeah, and judging them too now because things are getting PC even in, I would imagine, especially in the open mic scenes now.
Right.
It's like that's supposed to be the safety of you can fail. You know what I mean?
No, not anymore. You can't even fail on Twitter or on the street. Now, at PC, I think we need to come up with a better word because PC we could deal with.
Right.
This is a career ender.
Right.
This is anybody who goes on Twitter or whatever can fuck up everything overnight.
Yeah. I have no idea what I said a long time ago.
I'm pretty sure the shit I said, and it's been recorded.
I mean, I used to do a podcast that said Sandy Hook was fake, so I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those actors, that they hired.
Crisis actors are on the crisis actors.
Yeah.
I wish I could get in that game, man. I would take that work.
Yeah. What is it, Vinay?
The older open mic comics hate like this. They hate this whole. They don't like any sort of like diversity. They don't like any sort of like new. New shit. Yeah, the older guys. At least.
The old guard of people who are still doing open mics.
Yeah,
are pretty particular.
Yeah, I guess if I was a 45-year-old white guy, diversity would be one of the things that annoyed me. If I was still doing open mics,
right
now. But you feel like comics don't like you?
No, it's not comics. I'm just saying like that old school like New York. Like comedy scene, like kind of like what you're talking about, like
David Tell hates you.
Yeah, David Tell can't fucking stand you. Fucking.
It is nice to see somebody going, "Hey, my life is hard because I'm not white." And you feel like it's
I've never
harder
heard
for you?
that before. I've never heard that.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's harder for you to get into stand-up or easier?
Because it depends. Because there's so many fucking Indian people right now.
I know.
They don't like. I mean, like
in comedy.
No,
funnier. Yeah, so many Indian people funnier than you. It's unbelievable.
How long have you been doing it?
This is like my 4th year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you got a while.
But he's still at NYU.
Oh,
like he's one of those guys that started. What did you start when you were 16?
17.
Wow.
Too early.
No life experience.
When did you start?
Experience. Really a year ago. And that's when it all kicked in. No, I did it when I was younger and then just did radio for a long time. And about a year and a half, I started to do this again. And I do think it's like so much easier to write. You know what I mean? Because you're not, complaining about something your mom said or taking a shit. A lot of young guys are talking about taking a shit.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
Jerking off.
Jerking off.
My
eating ass.
Yeah, well, eating ass is popular now. Back when I started, I was a fucking renegade.
Earl, would you eat ass?
No.
See? Black
Earl,
guys are still holding out.
you're missing out, man. Post-shower.
Really exciting. Really exciting, Earl. Would you let your ass get eaten?
No.
Yeah, I'm with Earl on both of those things. I'm the same way. Yeah.
Even in the shower? Try it in the shower the first time.
Especially in the shower.
Really? That's when it's really clean, is when it's really gross.
That's gross, yeah. Because I'm just tasting skin, you know what I mean?
If I wasn't married, I'd get my ass eaten. Like
Yeah.
if I never had to confront them again.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, just
So
because
it's
my ass is a nightmare. I wouldn't wish that on somebody.
Again, scrub up a little bit. You know what I mean?
would.
Like,
No, I would. I would.
you're going to
trim
take
down.
a shower before you get into the pool. Oh, you're saying you just got a hairy asshole.
Hairy ass. There's like a hemorrhoid situation every once in a while. I like spicy food.
Let's stop straining.
Yeah.
Let's stop straining. You can be dead. Chris, you're not fucking plugging anything? These guys have big gigs coming up.
Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney are in studio. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, October 24th through the 28th. ComedyCellar.com for tickets. And Mike Feeney's headlining at Caroline's October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Carolines.com for tickets.
And Todd Barry is there this week at the Las Vegas Comedy Cellar. Liz bullied me into saying
Is that right? Liz is unbelievable,
She's
isn't
the
she?
best,
Yeah. And like you never know whether she is your friend or really in charge. It just goes back and forth.
Yeah.
You're cut to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no argument. Do you know who's here right now? Vinay, I'm going to bring you down and say that Aziz wants to go up for 10 minutes and see how long the audience buys into it. I guarantee you your material is just as good.
Hopefully.
Yeah, sight unseen.
I'm trying to get a TV show.
Yeah, but they're
You
going to
do look very like lead sitcom
He does.
castable. It's crazy. Yeah.
Thank you. I've been meaning to hear that. Honestly,
Yeah.
you made my week.
I mean, it's also your voice is so much Aziz as it's wild.
know.
You're gonna have a tough time.
finished.
Yeah.
I get Charlie Day a lot too.
Oh, no.
No, there's no reason to get that. There's no reason to get that at
That's
all.
just someone lying to you. That's
But when I first met him, I'm like, hey, did anyone ever tell you sound like Aziz? Because I thought I could say that without coming across as a racist old white guy.
right.
If they ever do the Hamilton version of Aladdin, you got it.
Oh, God.
Audition for Aladdin, the live action one.
They're doing that.
Yeah, I
Will
did.
Smith is Aladdin,
I didn't
right?
get it. I didn't get it.
Oh,
He's the genie.
yeah. Will Smith's the genie.
Oh, he's the genie.
Yeah.
Well, who's Aladdin?
Some Indian dude. Some fucking Indian
Russell
dude.
Peters.
Well, did that take place in India or in the Middle East?
In Persia, which is like...
Yeah, that's fucking like Turkey.
No, it was India at like one point. It was our people. We had claim over them. Those stories
When he
are
gets
ours.
excited,
Yeah.
it's crazy. If you just say Aziz is on the show,
That's
no
how
one-
done, son.
No!
Oh, my
It's so good. So
That's wild.
now Persia, you thought was part of India?
It is. It was. It was a huge
I think it's
empire.
Turkey and Iran.
Yeah, it extended to Turkey and Iran. And the west side, and the east, it went to Bangladesh and Thailand.
I had no idea this.
Yeah,
Wow.
we
I
were
didn't know Persia
powerful
was that
people
big.
until the
It's where the
Muslims
next
ruined
season of
everything.
Master of None is.
Oh God, I can't wait for that. It's so good. He fish hooks. Now, Chris, are you looking this up to see whether he's lying to me or not?
Yeah, I'm finding out the how vast
How
the
far?
Indian...
I want you. Yeah, get the thing of Persia.
Get the exact coordinates.
Yeah. Oh wow, that went quite
I
a
only
ways.
know about them fighting the Greeks.
Well, where was the Cave of Wonders?
Just get me maps. Nothing else is going to work for me.
Yeah.
But Persia was fucking gigantic.
Isn't Agrabah? Is that a real place?
I had no idea it ran that far. Good luck. Good luck with that. That should be great for you guys. Though.
Yeah.
You never should have broke it up. Should have kept it together.
Yeah. Good old dynasty run, you know?
There's literally the tiniest bit of India. Most of it's Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and some Turkey.
You know, the problem countries.
Yeah. Yeah, they have always been a problem, haven't they? I try to get along.
It seems like they just blindly, like they throw darts and go, which one is it going to land on that's going to be our scary boogeyman for the next 10 years?
Talking birds.
Here's their biggest problem. They'd be happy if they just got around some trees. I think what makes them so angry is the lack of shade.
Yeah, they haven't seen the color green in their lives.
Also, I looked up the Indian Empire or whatever, and it barely touches Iran.
First of all, it isn't the Indian Empire that we were talking about. I don't know where that fucking came from other than racism. Persian
Empire.
Yeah, but Vinay was saying that India extended to Persia, which it did not.
No, that's not what we're saying. He said Persia ran into India.
Too.
Vinay, don't let yourself get bullied like this.
Yeah. I like how he cut his mic off when he was going to make a point.
I know. Not like every open mic Vinay does. Yeah. Vinay, give us the opening joke for these guys. Maybe.
Do it. I'm into this.
Go ahead, Vinay. You just ladies and gentlemen, Vinay. And what's your last name?
Umapathy.
No, just go by Vinay.
Yeah, I know. I've been doing that. I've been just going with the first name.
John Vinay.
Jesus fucking Christ. I got to do a bit.
Yeah.
There's this Indian girl at the gym.
First of all, it's already great.
Yeah, I also love the confidence you broke into that. Like, you got louder in your voice. I love it.
And look, normally I'm not into Indian women because I know what my mom's like. I like white girls. I fucking love white girls, you know? Like, I like the type of white girls that calls themselves a socialist, you know? You know what I mean?
I'll just say this. Somewhere there should be a punchline.
He's getting
to it. This would be great if you were putting in your Tinder stuff, but this is, where's the punchline?
I remember those days of saying like a coherent sentence and wanting that to be enough.
Yeah. Why aren't they laughing? I just gave them a fact.
You want the punchline?
Yeah, eventually. Okay, I mean, it started with you saw an Indian girl at the gym.
No.
And now they're saying you like white girls that say they're socialists.
No, I like white girls that say that they're socialists because they believe in an even distribution of wealth amongst their daddy's credit cards. I think that's real sexy.
Okay.
There was a nice...
daddy's credit cards?
Yeah.
That's where we laugh?
No, but this is a whole bit. This is like an 8-minute bit. I'm like, you want to hear the whole bit?
I want to run through the whole thing.
All right, yeah.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. No, and like, I don't like white girls for like the stereotypical reasons. Like, I don't like white girls for like their cute little bodies and dumb little opinions. Like, I like white girls because I want mixed kids.
Randy!
You really should just do Randy. People would fucking love you. People would love you.
That's fun.
What is that? Is shtick or treat? You could go this year.
You absolutely should, dude. It's crazy.
Just memorize one of his bits.
Like his whole set.
You just
like
2 minutes.
Like
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like his whole set. Yeah, you got to do the full hour.
Yeah.
It's 40 comedians
Come
full
back
hour.
in the outfit.
Yeah.
Wear the tux.
Have you guys done that?
I have.
Who have you done?
I did last year. In the past, I've done Todd Barry, which was the hardest to, because people like spend a lot of money on makeup and wardrobe and stuff. I just bought a bald cap, but we also did Brennan Sagalow and I, a comedian. We did the Blues Brothers together, which was great. Because he's a big guy. He did Belushi clearly, and then of course the first year I did John Mulaney because that's what everybody
Yeah.
It's what the people wanted, so. But
How about you, Mike? Have you done it?
I've never done it, no. Yeah. I don't know why.
Just go there and do yourself.
You think so?
Well, yeah, because everybody like, this guy's fucking amazing. He is nailing Mike Cannon.
Yeah.
He is bombing.
Yeah. By the way, you bring up Todd Barry. Isn't he in Vegas?
He is in Vegas this week.
That's the whole reason I brought that up, was just so that he could work it back in.
Todd Barry is... he literally is an original.
Yeah.
He literally is an original. And I always like it when he'll say to the audience, normally that bit goes better. That's a bit that I normally end shows on. And, nothing in here.
His bits are so good, and then he'll throw a saver in when it doesn't get what he thinks it needs to get, and it's like even more brilliant, just packed on. He's so good. It's ridiculous.
Well, I can't wait to see him in Vegas.
I'm flying out there early just to see him.
Yeah, get out there early. And You guys haven't done the club yet?
Not yet. This is my first time.
Now, because Noam tells me it looks exactly.
That's what the pictures show,
which is
right?
really weird, right?
Yeah.
I tried to tell him, I go, I don't know if that's sane. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a sane thing to do.
You don't think so?
Well, you're not in a cellar in New York.
No,
you're
but
in
don't
Vegas.
you want to feel like you time travel?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need that. You know what I mean?
But that to me is the most Vegas thing, because Vegas is not its own place. It just is an amalgamation of just pretending to be other places. They have the Statue of Liberty. They have,
good,
you know what I mean? That kind of a
You've
thing.
turned me around now.
Yeah.
now I totally fucking get this.
There's people rowing down a canal inside of a casino with a starry sky above them. It's like, come on, you know?
I remember I did acid in Vegas once, and I'm like, this is getting so weird, but I hadn't even started yet. I just the thought that I'd already dropped the acid and I was in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm like, this got really fucking weird to me already.
That's why I'm grateful I'm going with not heavy drinking comics, because the last time I've been there was like my best friend's bachelor party.
Yeah.
And we did every drug imaginable. I did pills of Molly and all that shit, and it gets super uncomfortable and it's taxing. I'm glad I'm working.
Yeah, it is a Hunter Thompson thing that takes place.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just turn into Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
You're just in a bathtub screaming.
Well, they used to bring us out for when the big prize fights used to happen. And one fucking time, I took my door off the hinges. I think that we were just using it for, wouldn't this be funny to do long rails up in it? I remember I was very fucking tired, and I comfortably laid down and went to sleep with the door off the hinges. And the guys came in to fix it, right? And I wake up a little bit and I go, can you keep it down? I literally said to them, as I'm in a fucking place with the door gone. Yeah. With the door gone and sleeping. But that's how, like, gnarly you get in Vegas. Like, you can let it go to that point.
Yeah.
There's something about Vegas and also New Orleans that just when you're there, it's like, it's
green lights to be a piece of shit. It's awesome because you probably can't get as worse as it gets.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? There's always a level below what you're going to behave. So you can always look to that as like, well, at least I wasn't that.
Well, yeah, I guess you can look at people and you act like, well, this is what this was built for. I'm not real right now. I'm almost, it's like being in a video game.
It's like Ready Player One.
Yes, exactly. Where you're like, I'm supposed to act this way. And I'm going to jump in. Chris, you should be plugging, though. These guys are so good.
All right, Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney are in studio. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, October 24th through the 28th. Todd Barry's there now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Let Liz know.
I heard Whitney was going to be there as well.
Yeah. So go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. And then Mike Feeney's headlining at Caroline's October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Go to Carolines.com for tickets.
Is this your first time doing that at Caroline's?
Yep.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those where I was like, I think I should do this, and then a couple of years went by, and I was like, I guess now is fine.
Yeah. I always like to go to those shows to see if Amy pops in. And I'm like,
we were both on the one that happened to.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, that was the show. We were on that show. Yeah, we were, we saw the whole thing happen.
Yeah, you can speak more to it. I'm new at the Cellar.
Yeah. I'd like to work this. Actually, I don't remember much of it.
I was wondering, what do you guys think about Louis C.K. dropping in? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think my mic's cutting out.
Everybody always has a different opinion. But I tell everybody, run in the middle of the pack as long as you possibly can.
I mean, I can kind of get what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to take in the information.
I always say, when people ask me about that, I always say, how do you feel? And you're going to be surprised how much we agree.
Yeah.
You are going to be shocked how we're on the same page as each other. And never talk to the press about that. But whose show was that? Tell people what happened with the famous Amy.
So Brendan Sagalow was headlining, was doing a headlining set, and then Mike, myself, and Rosebud Baker were opening up for him. And then, we were there. We were on the show, and right after he went on is when she kind of came in.
And then she said, Brendan, I'd love to jump on for a couple I'm doing it. And a lot of people reacted poorly to it, like it was a terrible thing.
Mm.
But I think it made his night memorable.
It got sweet little Brendan a bunch of press.
It got him a lot of press.
He went on a full tour.
Yeah. And even the people in the room, they're going to go, oh my God, She knows him. This is fun. You know what I mean? Like the people that are citizens.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. But I was down at the Cellar, and she dropped in for, it was actually at the Underground, on some show, and Brendan was there, and I was like, dude, you should walk up now. Mind if I do 5 minutes? He goes, absolutely not. And I go, I'll hold your hand and say that I'm your dad. Yeah. And you want to get that 5 minutes back. And I think she would have enjoyed it.
I think it would have been good.
Fucking ran away.
Oh.
He ran away.
He missed his shot.
He really is spineless.
Yes. But he played it passively, like, oh, here's the text she sent me. You know what I mean? You know, like, I thought, like, oh, that was more private than saying that sucked.
Significantly more private. Yeah, it was their personal direct message.
Right.
That's the part where you're like, But otherwise, I think he took the right path with just saying that it helped the show. And, you know, again, he got to do a bunch of shows that he had never done before.
Yeah, Page Six is not talking about him often.
Yeah.
But, you know, a long time ago, I was talking to Richard Lewis, and he was a young comedian, and he was bombing, and was down in Miami, and Jackie Gleason went on stage and said, come on, kid, I'll show you how it's done. And he was holding onto the mic. He wouldn't let go of it. And I'm like, he goes, I wasn't going to let him show me up. I go, he's Jackie Gleason. You know, and it's the fucking 70s. Yeah. Everyone is showing up by him. Let the fucking guy run with it.
Did he not give it to him?
No, he was fighting with him, and the audience fucking hated Richard for it.
Of course,
and he told the story like I was supposed to be on his side.
I kind of like that.
Give him the fucking, you like
I do like that.
Oh yeah, because he did it because he's psycho.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
But like if you're on stage in some bar band and Springsteen walks out, it's great for you. It's not a bad. You're not like Springsteen's trying to show me up. Yes, because he's a star. He's an actual star, and you're doing a bar in fucking Miami. But it is a weird thing of ego of let me walk on stage and drive everybody crazy. Just by doing it.
And it went people were losing their minds when
the girl was crying.
Yeah, there was a girl
crying. Looked like
Hanson
showed up.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
It was impressive though to be able to see that because it's like, what was Brendan going to do? Just be like, no, you can wait, and maybe like his his family members would have been like, good for you, and everybody else would have been like, fuck, man, like,
we know her even better than you.
Yeah.
He could have yelled, bitch, I told you to stay in the car.
That would have been amazing.
But yeah, you've seen that at the Cellar when the people do the drop-in thing. And like, I always like to watch that pop. I always like to see regular people who, in the back of their mind, like, I'm enjoying the show, but I really do hope somebody shows up that I can tell my friends about. And they lose their shit.
It's like you feel it in your ribs.
Yeah.
It's crazy. When you stand outside that door and somebody shows up and walks in and the entire place just starts shaking, it's crazy.
And I watched twice that Louis went on in it just like a week or so ago. And the place popped. Crazy. They
I
went
bet,
fucking insane. But then you'll read in the paper, he went up to mixed reviews. It's just not true.
Yeah.
Just not true.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is like, it's also better for the show because after that, a lot of people will be, I think common people would go, well, that's got to be hard to follow them. But it's like, no, now they're on fire.
Right.
Like I did when I was featuring for Bobby Kelly at Gotham and Seinfeld.
Bobby Kelly walked out.
Seinfeld came in beforehand and came in to a standing ovation, did 20 minutes, murdered, and then left to a standing ovation. And then they were like, okay, you go, Mike. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to be the worst set. It was one of the best sets I had the entire year.
You have to admit, and these people, they're thinking, this kid is Seinfeld approved.
Yeah.
Like, here's a guy who works with Seinfeld. So it does make sense.
Right.
That doesn't happen in any other, job. It really doesn't. But, so Kelly had to say, oh, cool, let Seinfeld go up. Or they asked,
I feel like it was kind of like an ask, but I feel like it would be a, what can I say? I feel like if he said no, it might have been a sticky situation for them, but also he had no problem with it. And he followed, and he murders, so he was not worried at all. I was the one worried.
I saw Seinfeld do that at Gotham once, and it was really funny because he's announced and people applaud. But then when they actually see him, and like he had a hat on and shit, so you see them focusing before they explode. You know what I mean?
That long walk to the stage.
Yeah.
It's also how untrustworthy people are.
Right.
I think you said it.
Yeah.
Not fucking with them.
Yeah. But they do, it does make their fucking trip to New York. I mean, they're right away. That's what a big part of why people want to go to New York, because they say they saw people in restaurants or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and not to mention most comics of that level, I'm still a huge fan of. So whenever they pop in, I love watching them. The way they work out material, and it's so advanced and different. And it's like it's the best.
But you know what's funny is they're more likely. There's some people that are really huge, but they're not known to all audiences. So I was at a small place. And Jim Gaffigan came in to plate applause. Like, okay, your next comedian is Jim Gaffigan. And I'm like, oh, damn, this fucking guy's huge.
Yeah, right.
Not necessarily that, but you remember, okay, to his audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I saw that actually at the 4th Street New York Comedy Club. Jim Gaffigan came in, played for kind of a sparse crowd, did his thing, killed it, had some stuff that didn't work, had comments on that. I mean, it's pretty great to watch them be real comics because it's not just, a loaded bat.
Oh, yeah, and he has no problem with, you know what I mean? Like, when he's working New York, he's just working his material.
Yeah.
He's not going there to get some kind of rush for being famous.
Right, the applause.
There's also nothing better than watching Attell do like the new jokes at the Cellar, and he just does 25 minutes to end it. I hosted once, and he brought me in to riff with him, and I'm just like shitting my pants the entire time. It's the most nerve-wracking experience. You're there with the funniest guy. You don't want to try to be funny and wedge in and come off as a dick. Like, it was intense.
I don't know what his philosophy is, but he likes to keep the MC close. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, he'll just fucking, am I right, Mike? And you just like, yeah.
It's like,
happily.
Thanks for the help. It's like, I don't know what to say. It's like anything I say, I'm fucked.
Everybody has been in that fucking situation, and it's weirdly thrilling. Now, and the thing about, it's not like some people, they could have a sitcom and that's why they're known, but Attell is known purely on being a stand-up. It's crazy when you think about it.
There's so few of those.
Yeah.
Really, that just from that.
Well, and certainly not in the city, at least. A lot of them are kind of out in L.A., or Regan lives in Vegas, I guess,
Regan,
and Sebastian, I guess.
Yeah, Sebastian, too. Both of them actually even had pilots that didn't go.
Yeah. Right.
Is shocking to. Are you telling me I can't come up with a fucking thing for Brian Regan?
You can't make something work for 5 million people.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like guaranteed. His
I
fan
mean,
base.
just him being the dumb dad. Forget about it.
Yeah,
we're all going to fucking eat cake after this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Let me write it right now in the back of an envelope. I feel like I can put the treatment together.
Give whatever you're about to give to Tim Allen to Brian Regan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say he's basically could just have been Phil Dunphy from Modern Family. He could have just been the dad. I mean, that was kind of like the same.
Yeah, it doesn't make. And then with Maniscalco, there was somebody great that was going to play his dad.
Tony Danza.
No. Tony Danza was Chris Stefano's,
he was gonna, but then
no. That
Chaz
was
Palminteri played him.
Chaz Palminteri
played Chris's dad.
That I was on the street one time when Chaz got out of the car and watched people just freeze.
Really?
And let him walk through. They didn't bother him, but they just fucking looked at him. And I'm like, this is a very cool fucking New York moment.
He's an imposing guy. He was backstage at Chris's special, and I felt like
he
that.
loves Chris from that thing. I think you're right that Tony Danza as his dad.
I think it was.
That should have been a fucking
I know. That should have worked easy.
And now Tony Danza's playing somebody's weird's dad on a Netflix thing.
Josh Groban.
What?
Doesn't even fucking make sense.
It's so weird.
Bunch of bullshit.
That is not. You're not plugging anymore.
Oh, no, I love the plug. I love Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney are in studio. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, October 24th through the 28th. Go to comedycellar.com for tickets. And Mike Feeney's headlining at Caroline's October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Carolines.com for tickets. For all their dates, go to MikeFeeneyComedy.com and MikeCannonComedy.com.
And, of course, their podcast.
The Irish Goodbye Podcast. That's available on GasDigitalNetwork.com and iTunes.
I'll tell you, there's nothing more than I appreciate than an Irish goodbye. I don't like big goodbyes anywhere. I don't like somebody telling me that they're leaving that I've really spent no time with that other night.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm taking off. I don't give a fuck.
Do you feel like you're more prone to do it now that you're sober or when you were drinking?
That's a really great one, and I'd never have said goodbye when I was drinking. So it is often when you're sober and you have to say goodbye to drunk people.
It takes forever.
It takes forever, and you see like the worst of them.
Mm-hmm.
I always do this since I've been alcoholic. I don't try to show up at 8:00 at night because drinking looks so great then. You know what I mean? Like, oh, everyone's just getting their buzz on. They're starting to dance. I come in a couple hours later when they're shitty and pissy.
People are talking too close.
I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not drinking.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great strategy.
Yeah. It's my only strategy I have. It's my only strategy of sobriety.
Well, what I do with Irish Goodbye, I kind of take it, we've disagreed on this, I kind of take it to another level where if I Irish Goodbye, you don't hear from me for the rest of the night. So if somebody, I've had times where I've left the bar and it was like a perfect Irish Goodbye, nobody saw me leave, and then I'll get a text, people being like, where are you? You cool? You alive?
Yeah, are you okay? So he's a piece of shit that leaves people worried about him.
That's an Irish Goodbye.
What are you leaving your mom?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I care for my friends.
I don't. That's why I don't say goodbye to them.
I find it the most... Why every other night you don't know where he is?
Right.
Why just the night that you see him?
Because I don't trust that he's capable of getting himself
but
home
you are
safe.
on the night that you, like, if he says, hey, I'm going out to a party.
No, I don't. I check in with him every night.
Oh, you will? You're a warrior.
I have to text him a picture from in bed.
With the newspaper.
But I mean, it does you no good if he's dead on the street.
Yeah, I'm not going to write back to that text
then I'll have to find a new co-host.
Yeah.
Brendan Sagalow.
No.
I don't know whether you've heard.
Could be Amy Schumer Presents Irish Goodbye Podcast.
I don't know whether you've heard Chris's plugs, but I think he'd be very good with you. He's coming in, he's making sure everybody's getting the information.
Yeah, Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney.
No, didn't you just do it?
I just thought, I want to make up for lost time. You know?
Earl, you don't drink at all, right?
Not at all.
Do you worry about drunks getting home?
If it's someone I'm very close to or know, yes.
Yeah.
Well, if they're getting in a car, that might be a thing. But, yeah, for the most part, I think people would look at it if they know me at all. They text, they go, where are you? They look around, they go, he's out here. And they go, oh, that son of a bitch. He got me again. That's what I would like to think they're doing.
Yeah.
Or they're just thank God he's gone. You know,
I guess the majority of people I wouldn't care to get in contact with. But if I'm there with my sister or somebody I'm close with,
I would agree.
Sure.
Then that's when you're family, and that's when you're overstepping bounds. You can overstep bounds with family. You can't do that with guy friends.
Yeah.
True. I
You
guess.
know,
Well,
no one ever said to Clint Eastwood, did you get home okay? You know what I mean?
I beg to
Burt
differ.
Reynolds, oh my God, are you all right driving?
Yeah.
He's Burt fucking Reynolds.
Yeah, you
we
throw
know.
in the keys.
Yes.
How many times did Burt Reynolds get rid of a car by just crashing it into a tree?
Oh, I don't believe him.
That's the Billy Joel method for a while.
Yeah.
Wrap it around a tree in Southampton and just take a walk home.
No, Billy would just lean over and sleep on the fucking front seat. Let the cops get him.
He is such because I'm from Long Island, and he's such a Long Island hero in terms of the kid that he played piano in the band that he was in my dad's prom. He was just the keyboardist in this band.
Still looks good.
Just doing international tours. This Long Island guy made good. Then he moves back to Long Island, giant house in the Hamptons where everybody wants to live, and then just is crashing his car and not even trying to cover it up, just being what are you gonna do?
Long Island, what can I say?
Yeah,
Billy's gonna be Billy.
Yeah, he just starts tickling the fucking dashboard like it's a piano.
Nick DiPaolo told me that he says he's a friend with somebody in the band, and that Billy came in to rehearsal one night and said this, guess who fucked Chrissy Brinkley in the ass last night? Now, I don't know if that's a true story, but I certainly hope that it is.
And I absolutely believe it.
The weirdest thing about Billy Joel, no album since 1992, sells out Madison Square Garden once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month. And every single person is from Long Island.
Does he just
every
have no
single person
interest
there.
in writing new music?
He said, who wants to hear a new Billy Joel song? He goes,
I guess that's
he
right.
goes, all my stuff is shit anyway. What difference does it make? What am I going to write? Fucking West End?
Do you hate
what
Billy
am I
Joel?
gonna do? No. I actually don't hate him at all. But his fans, this is going to happen with a lot of bands, his fans are so overly into him that it annoys me.
Right.
Dave Matthews.
And yes, Dave Matthews has
Fish, Springsteen, all those.
Sublime that we brought up. I don't need someone yelling Rush in my face.
Yeah.
Rush is the greatest. And then it makes me just say, no, I hate them.
Right.
And that's where Billy Joel is, that once a month, everyone's going ape shit. Can you believe? as 100 fucking times in a row.
And it's so impressive to me that he can keep it. But I do like that thing of being like, no, we're not even going to put out new music. Who cares? You know what I mean? Just like nobody wants to hear it. Every time I go, this is off my new album. Everyone will just go, you know. And so just play the hits. Why not?
But that's why I liked seeing Paul McCartney in concert, because he played all the old shit, everything.
Yeah.
And then would pepper in new stuff.
Right.
And he knew people weren't there. He even gave like a joke or something like that about everybody's phones were up during all the Beatles songs. And it would just be like a black hole after like a new thing. He's like, but we're going to fucking play them anyway because it's fun for us. So,
because he's not just an entertainer. You know what I mean? He's like, I have to create stuff.
Yeah.
He also, a reason to be here.
He prances around that stage. He's like 78 years old or something like that. And he's just in great shape.
I remember seeing the Rolling Stones at Madison Square Garden, and Mick Jagger was still, it was like impressive how much he was moving around, you know? And that was 10 years ago. He still is crazy.
The weird thing about them is they were, McCartney and the Stones, like by 78, everyone's like, this might be the last tour. We should go see. We should go see them right now. We're never going to have this chance. Right. We're going to wrap this up, Chris. Send us out on a really great promo.
Mike Cannon and Mike Feeney have been in studio. Mike Cannon's performing at the Comedy Cellar in Las Vegas, October 24th through 28th. It's currently Todd Barry's there. Go to ComedyCellar.com for tickets. Mike Feeney's headlining at Caroline's Comedy Club here in New York City, October 17th at 7:30 p.m. Go to Carolines.com for tickets. The Irish Goodbye podcast, hosted by Mike and Mike, is available on GasDigitalNetwork.com and iTunes. And for all their dates, go to MikeFeeneyComedy.com and MikeCannonComedy.com.
I think it's also seriously an amazing thing that you can go see Cellar shows in Vegas where so many of those shows are so expensive that you could go over and spend like an hour and a half seeing just a fucking dine. Because you guys know, I mean, I'm down there all the time and I go, I can't believe this fucking show.
I'm with Colin Quinn, Chris DiStefano, Mike Vecchione, Taylor Tomlinson, and Mark Cohen.
That's an unbelievable fucking show.
Yeah.
Unbelievable show. All right, that's it for us. Congratulations to Kanye. Great performance today. I'll never see anything like that again. Tomorrow, Ellie Kemper Unmasked. We've got The Revolution from Prince and The Revolution, and Michael Sheen, one of the greatest actors of our time. So great show tomorrow. That's it for us. Take care.